and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Can we get a roll call?
Jeremy Rivas.
Here, barely.
Here.
Vasquez.
Here.
Greg Sims.
Present.
Andy Bozak.
Here.
Mike Brickner. Sylvia Graham.
Here.
6-1.
All right. So we've got the second public hearing on the bond and second readings. Got some seconds going on today. So you guys want to come up and help us, guide us through this second public hearing on the preliminary determination of the bond?
So we're doing the resolution and the ordinance.
So,
Is that what we're doing?
So tonight you have your second scheduled public hearing on the preliminary determination resolution. It's the same information that was presented at their last meeting, and I believe you've got the slides pulled up. At the conclusion of the public hearing, you have a resolution for your consideration.
Thank you.
And that's for consideration to be adopted this evening. And then you also have in your packet a bond and appropriation ordinance. But tonight, that is only on first reading. The final adoption will be considered in November for that action item.
all right.
So we're actually doing the two bonds.
Just one.
Yeah.
Okay,
This $25 million bond in front of us.
okay, you're right.
Yep. All right. So is there a number or anything to the resolutions in the ordinance, or are we just a title? I mean, the resolution by title up there on top?
I didn't see a resolution number, Jeremy, or an ordinance number. on
Yeah.
both of them. I was just gonna read the top of the,
Yeah, that's probably
all you can
by
do.
name, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
You can assign those for your internal purposes.
okay, so, all right, we'll get going with this. So so I'll start with, just the public hearing, right? Open up the public hearing on the bond purposes. So I'll open up now for any public input. If anyone would like to speak on the $25 million bond for the jail and the garage. Nobody? Sheriff, you wanna?
What a shock.
That's for the record. Yeah, does anybody want to speak on the bond, $25 million bond for the jail and the highway? So, again, this is the second public hearing on preliminary determination of the $25 million bond for the highway and the jail. Did I say that right? Is that all right? Nobody? Last chance. Anybody want to speak on the second public hearing on the preliminary determination of the $25 million bond for the jail and the highway garage? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing on that. So,
you need a motion?
not to close the public hearing. That's fine. Is that what it was? Yeah. Perfect. So, I don't know, there's, maybe if you want to, we could do the resolution now, correct? Do the resolution first?
Did you need a motion for resolution?
Yeah, well, I don't know if you want to read the title, at least the number and the title.
Yeah, I'll make a motion. We adopt resolution number 10-2023, a resolution of the County Council of Porter County, Indiana, making a determination of need for certain capital projects and making a preliminary determination to issue bonds.
I will second the motion.
There's a motion and a second on the floor, discussion. Is there anything you want to add?
No, the resolution memorializes all the information that was included in the presentation as to maximum cost and estimated interest rate, term of bonds, and purpose of the issuance.
And when will the bond actually be issued? Does it come January 1? Something like that?
The plan is to issue the bonds by the end of the year, so we're looking at a sale early December.
Further discussion, questions, comments? Seeing none, can we get a roll call on the resolution?
Fred Stone.
Yes.
Andy Vasquez.
Yes.
Greg Sims.
Yes.
Andy Bozak.
Aye.
Sylvia Pickering,
This ordinance, please.
Yes,
Jeremy Rivas.
Yes.
Because it says.
All right. Resolution number 10-23 is passed. So we need to pass the ordinance on first reading now. So if you want to,
I'd like to make a motion, we,
AYE.
for ordinance number 5-10-2023, an ordinance of the Porter County, of the County Council of the County of Porter, Indiana, authorizing the issuance and sale of general obligation bonds and funds to pay for various capital expenditures, together with the incidental expenses in connection therewith, and on account of the issuance of the bonds, therefore, and appropriating the proceeds of the bonds to such purposes to finance the projects in an amount not to exceed $25 million. That would be my
there's a
motion.
motion on the ordinance number 5-23.
Can I ask you a question?
Read by title? Yeah, sure.
So was this already reviewed by our attorney and Scott McClure?
Yes, and our bond attorney here.
Yeah. So, yeah, tonight we're just introducing on first reading, and then there'll be a public hearing and final adoption in November.
And this is a pretty standard.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll second the motion. Thank you.
I have just a thing I'm seeing here. They're talking about bonds as being plural. We're talking about one bond or two bonds?
It's one bond. We refer to the series of bonds as bonds in plural because they are actually in $5,000 increments. So there's a lot of $5,000 increments at 25.
Okay, makes sense.
Thanks.
It's a lot of $5,000 increments.
I never knew
There's
that.
a motion, a second on the floor. Further discussion? Seeing none, can we get a roll call?
Andy Vasquez,
Yes.
Craig Sims,
Yes.
Bozak,
Yes.
Sylvia Graham,
Yes,
Jeremy Rivas.
Yes.
Fred Stone.
Yes.
6.
Motion carries.
First.
All right. Need to do anything else?
Next time.
Not with respect to these, not at the time, no.
Nope.
Oh, thanks. Okay. Andy?
Final public hearing and adoption? We have that set for,
At your November meeting, there'll be a hearing on the appropriation of the proceeds, and final approval of the issuance.
all right, perfect. I think we're good. If anybody have any questions? All right,
All right, thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Probably shouldn't lose these, maybe.
No. I think that one's signed, this one, do we?
Oh.
Yeah, yeah,
go.
yep.
thanks.
I'll sign it for you right here.
It's easy.
Vasquez?
Sir,
We have one more to sign at your convenience.
You know, last time I did this, I did it with several years in the Marine Corps.
Hey, sign it on your line, not mine.
Second
But
copy.
it made a difference.
He's stealing mine.
Did I sign on last time? Oh. If you go by your real name, everything will be cool.
We got one more for Simpson, so.
Holy moly.
You sign one, you want me
I
to hand it
think
to her?
this one's
Yeah.
all signed.
I just will get it out of the way so we don't lose them.
Andy?
That's done.
Mike Brickner.
Right now.
Sylvia.
Excuse me.
I like silver. You know. Cool.
Looks like a stamp.
Yeah, it does,
It really
doesn't it?
does. Got a nice pen.
This is a big book,
Stuff.
heavy.
No, that's all right.
Okay, we're done.
No.
All right, guys, ready?
No.
Ben?
Buckland, sweet peas, rough ride.
So this is the
This is the best part of our job.
beginning of the fun part of the job that we all wait for all year. Second reading. Yeah. So I know we mentioned on first reading that we'd get into some discussion, and we had our normal meeting, and we just kind of proceeded to skip over that a little bit. But I know the auditor's office has been working hard on some numbers and crunching numbers and getting us set up to have some discussion and move into second reading and do what we have to do to get into final reading, hopefully pass a budget that won't be cut by the state and that we could do the most good for the greatest amount of our employees and see if we can prioritize some different departments if it's possible. I know you guys have been getting emails and phone calls and text messages. So, not sure what you guys have promised, but we'll soon find out.
The moon.
So, there's some discussion about, I think maybe in the range of increasing the general fund, by about the same amount last year, which was, I think, in the range of like 1.4 million, 1.45 million or something. And I think just the general fund, we've got some requests up over, I think last time I looked, over $3 million maybe. So it's not gonna be easy, but we're gonna have to, traditionally when we start this process and we can change it anytime you guys want, but we start taking out any kind of raises and extra, employees and kind of see what else is needed in the budgets and see where we get at the end and see if, what we can do. And I know you guys ran some numbers on, so last year we did the wage study, and we covered a lot of employees. I don't know the exact percentage of employees, and then some departments we also took all the way up to midpoint. So the goal last year was to get halfway to midpoint for all the employees, and then this year get everybody to midpoint. And we ended up taking, I think it was the sheriff, the merit officers, the jailers, 911, and I think we did some stuff up in the planning department, getting everybody to the midpoint. So we've got to finish that promise, was kind of do it in a 2-year phase, getting everybody to that midpoint. And I think that cost it's $550, $560, a little shy of $600,000 somewhere
for this year.
for this year. So
Last year was 1.3.
last year we spent 1.3, but if you guys remember, nobody got less than $4,000. No employee did, So in total, I want to say we gave
700,000 stipends, so a total of 2 million.
$2 million. Thank you. That's exactly where I was going. We gave over, roughly $2 million out to our employees last year. And we strive to do that every year, to take care of our employees. And I know we're not going to make everybody happy. I know we can't give the exact raises everybody wants or, feels they've deserved. But since I've been up here, we've been trying. I think we've talked about it over the last 4 or 5 years. We've tried to give out and we have 3.75% raises every year. We've strived for that, even through COVID. But last year, I think too, and that equated to, I think Red
8%.
talked about on an average of 8% raises, we gave out last year. Some heavy lifting, and and again, they've done a great job. I've gone in there and asked them run some numbers, and they've, let me peek behind the curtain on some of that stuff, and we really started seeing an increase, into the general fund and personal services a couple of years ago. We're starting to jump ahead of ourselves, because we've been giving out raises, but we have a healthy general fund, but that can change fast. We've seen it when some of us got here and
Yep.
9, 10.
There was no raises, there were
There was-
stipends.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot left in the general fund at one point in time. So we don't want to do that, and then, have to turn around and raise a bunch of taxes because we emptied the coffers out, county government. So
I think it's a balancing act, though, between keeping good people, giving raises, and trying to keep taxes low. It really is a balancing act. When I first came on here, I didn't know what to expect, and I'll tell you, it's thin. I was shocked. I mean, and kudos to you guys. I mean, you guys have really done. It's skinny.
Mr. President, I have a question. So we're talking about a $1.4 million increase. That's what we're looking to raise our general fund this year, or the highest we'd want to raise our general fund. Maybe a little cushion in there, but that's the number, the target.
yeah, and being somewhat, I mean, I shouldn't say somewhat, yeah, and keeping in our fiscal responsibility, conservativeness, I guess, but, because the general fund is, raises, employees are reoccurring, so, if our revenue, if we're spending obviously more than we're bringing in, we'll start eating into that general fund really fast. And we have a reserve, but we can eat into that fast, so.
So we've got 1.4 million, a midpoint for salaries is 560,000. So we're operating with like $900,000 increase in general fund is what our initial thought is. Probably we'd want to go less because we want to increase things. So the auditor, are you guys going to track that? Because it used to be at the end of the night, you guys would tell us how much we increased the general fund, so we had a better understanding. Dumb question, I just want to make sure. Thank you. He nodded his head, just so everyone says.
So yeah, and when we're going through this, we'll have to start deciding to pull things out or finding places to move out things and see what we can come up with after second reading. And if we've got a third reading, we've got to come back with some plans and strategies. So, which we usually do, and it's a lot of shuffling at the end to see what we can do.
So we're going to pull out all salaries increases and all additional people now till the end, correct?
That's been what we've traditionally done, and I don't see, me personally, how else we get to where we want to go if getting everybody, as we promised, to midpoint and trying to give out raises. I don't see another way. We start saying yes now, and that's the thing. I was talking to Red a little about it today. Is the last thing we want to do is promise things in second reading that we have to pull back in third. So
It's a lot easier to give it than take it back.
yeah, and we have some new department heads too, and it's a learning process, and it takes a while. So it teaches too to be creative. Like a sheriff. You've got some different funds, and the sheriff has traditionally, and I see no different than you so far, is trying to work with us and trying to figure things out. Our goal is to give out raises, and if we can add some people where we can't, where we think is the most priority, we want to do that. But it takes, give and take. People digging in to their budgets, learning them, understanding them, and figuring out, maybe some areas that they can move around, or they're underspending, or they've got some funds that are building some cash balances that they can move things into. So, with that said, did you guys, Ryan, Dave, Madam Auditor, I think you guys ran some scenarios. I'm not sure if everybody got them, like what 2%, 3%, 4% raises would be, on top of the 550,000. I don't, if that's the exact number. What 2% total would be. And I think we're just speaking in the general fund. We'd have to dig in and see the damage of the other ones, and if they've got the revenues to sustain that. I think he sent them. Do you have them? Do you have it up? Or
Right.
to yell out or yell at us?
So yeah, if we wanted to do 2% on top, we would be looking at right around 600,000 additional on top of the 560. If we went 3%, we would be just short of $1 million. If we went 4%, we would be right around 1.3.
So if we went 4% and got everybody to midpoint, you're saying the total of that would be 1.3?
It would be 1.3 on top.
Oh,
Top of the 560.
I like the other one that I said first. So,
So those three numbers were all on top of the 560. So just a 2%, we would be at 1.1 out of your 1.4.
3% is what again?
3% is just short of $1 million.
Plus the 550,000?
So at 1.4 right there, pretty close, right?
So we could all go home now, right? If we wanted to just go half at the midpoint, give 3% raises. Everybody else will just wipe out what you're adding. No, that's not gonna work. I'm sure the sheriff and the prosecutor aren't okay with that. They want to come yell at us. So, and 4% would be
1.3, so we would be sitting right around the 2 million.
that's basically what we did last year. But 700 wasn't reoccurring. It was
One-time stipend.
the one-time stipends. That would be all reoccurring.
Right.
We could eat up about 500 grand a year out of
Yeah, so yeah, exactly. We would begin to, just on that alone,
Loan would
this
be
is
500
alone,
grand a year out of our.
out of our
portion of
surplus.
our
Yeah, out of our reserves, we would be eating $500,000 out of that a year.
That's- you can't get done if you know you're gonna get some money in the future. Gamble.
All right, anything? Anybody?
Okay.
Well,
When we talk about how healthy the general fund is, what is that number, by the way? Or do we,
Want today, or do you want our projections at the end of this year?
probably projections at the end of the year?
So the projections at the end of the year
Sorry, Sil.
are looking right around 13 million.
Okay.
Plus or minus a little bit, so, but 13 million, where at the end of last year, we ended at 11.4.
So it's still increasing right now.
So as of, at the end of this year, we would add another 1.6. Now, again, that's highly inflated for this year due to the investment cost, or the earnings on investment. That if we did not have, we would have started eating into our reserves. Does that make sense to everyone? So on a typical year before this year, we were bringing in about 850,000 in earnings. This year, so far, we're at just over 3.5 million. So a huge increase. Again, Treasurer's Office did a fantastic job of
Yeah, there's a treasurer's.
taking our money, using it. However, you know, speaking with Jeremy, speaking with Red, we also don't know that we are going to be getting that money year out, starting to count on that. You know, yes, we can see a little bit of a raise, you know, a little bit, but at the same time, we also don't want to start banking on it.
So what percentage, I'm not smart enough, just anybody can do that in their head real fast, 13 million of, if we pass a $47 million budget, what's $13 million is, you know, I'm just asking because you know,
27,
Baker Tilly's, what is it?
27%, roughly 25, 27%.
So that's, yeah, I mean, so we're right there. So Baker Tilly, you know, our financial advisor that we've used a number of times, is, you know, you should have 15 to 20% reserves. That's kind of your
right.
low standard, golden standard. I want to say 25% or something. So we're right there as, you know.
That's right, I said, I know, I mean, we do have enough to go into it, but then it just all depends on other stuff like ambulance contracts, medical insurance going forward. I know Ryan and Dave, I think you said actually this year we're actually doing pretty well with our medical insurance. Because that was one of the things I asked you when I came to your office was, is that gonna really hit us hard this year? And you go, no, actually it's doing good. But I know Baker Tilly said over the next couple of years, it could really, we could really get into some,
That could change over.
that could change overnight, exactly.
I think the one thing that needs to be taken consideration is the ARPA funds that are being used for the county government. I mean, we're using them for health insurance, we're using foundation money for health insurance, so it's not like we're looking just at the general fund. So we need to take that in consideration because we will not have ARPA funds in the future also. And then we have to look at what the foundation is going to be covering with reference to buildings or things of that sort. So when you're looking at the total, you need to realize how much is being buffered into the general fund also.
That's a good point.
Yeah, we've used ARPA to supplement that health fund.
Well, especially the foundation. The ARPA funds, once they're used, they're gone.
Yeah, foundation is reoccurring income through investments, but yeah, but that's,
Well, that's only 5 million a year though, and a lot of that goes to 911 and some of the other.
Yeah.
yep. But no, it's a great point too, and I don't know where the commissioners at. They'll be in front of us, but we should definitely, and this is good discussion that we should have, whether we had it last meeting or this one before. The ambulance contract is, you know, something where we don't have very many more years of reserves to pay for that. That was the money that was left behind from the sale of the hospital, the principal, and that was left when we shifted all the money over to the foundation. They left money behind, and that's been paying the ambulance and that, and we've got cities and towns that are, you know,
I believe Burns Harbor just dropped their ambulance service, correct?
and landing it on our laps to take
Right.
care of, because,
Yep.
you know, we've kind of assumed that responsibility in some municipalities and unincorporated areas, and, you know, they're seeing ways to maybe cut, and they're just, here, we're done, we're not gonna do this anymore, you gotta cover the area. And we're not obviously gonna leave our, you know, the residents without coverage, but, you know, we're kind of being,
There needs to be some conversations had with the communities and to see where we can move forward and make things fit, whether
I mean,
it be a
kudos
fire
to
territory, a fire district.
Right, they tried, Burns Harbor tried. I mean, they wanted to do their own ambulance service for their community. and
So did
So
Chesterton.
did Chesterton, and they just, after, they couldn't afford it.
No,
'Cause
it's
I was
too
actually on the
expensive.
meeting when they took
Yeah.
money out of, I think, their RDC to fund it and try and do it. And it was a couple, maybe 2-3.
They've been using that money and that,
They've been using that money, and it's done.
so there needs to be some conversations had on
They
the local
partner
level.
with the county to help alleviate some of our costs, and, you know, fix some of the.
No, the county didn't want to talk to them.
Oh, okay.
who's Burns Harbor?
Burns Harbor wanted to get some of the money to help support it because they were using their RDC money, that they had to start doing some RDC projects, but the county wasn't interested in paying money to them to help fund their ambulance service. To me, it would have made sense to at least offset something, but I don't know what the cost is now that Burns Harbor is on ours. You know, what did that raise the cost of the county? I don't think we know yet.
We won't know yet. I think they're gonna be negotiating that this year.
Kind of like Chesterton, they just dropped it. We found out January 1 it was no more, and hey,
Are we
they covered it.
taking 100% of the cost?
Oh yeah.
Well, my question was, why can't they help out with something?
Well, why doesn't
They say-
Chesterton, why don't
That's
the
what I'm saying,
other
Chesterton.
communities, or the ones that we actually fund part of the ambulance, pay portage
Well,
to
that's a
cover?
conversation
So
we should have
that's,
with them.
that's a great, yeah, you're 100% right, but that's a conversation that we gotta bring community leaders together to fix.
I agree.
And there's gonna be some upset people. I mean, some of the solutions are potentially combining fire departments, and doesn't always go over well with the actual department. I'm not saying that is the solution, but that's one of the things that's been discussed.
No, we started down that path together, Andy, a couple years ago, because we knew we were coming, you know, getting closer and closer, and we tried to begin, you know, some conversations. Whether we started it right or wrong, we were trying to create the dialogue. It didn't go far. I think that dialogue is starting to happen a little bit again, you know. So this something, but to Fred's point, not right now this year, but,
These are all things that are gonna be coming down the pike at us.
and it may be sooner because they've said that contract will probably increase, you know, a lot because we're covering more areas now, so it could be next year that we have to start coming up with $1 million somewhere else.
I have a general question, and it isn't about all of this. A few years back, the commissioners, we started a office supply fund where the commissioners were supposed to have all this money, and when people needed office supplies, they were supposed to ask the commissioners. And I see in some of these budgets that we have office supplies. And I'm a little confused on why that's going on.
I don't know to what extent it was ever carried out.
Well, but there's quite a amount, what is the amount of money right now sitting, the commissioners have in their office supply account?
The commissioner.
Yeah.
Office supplies?
I didn't want to take over the screen.
300, it's on your sheet, I just thought you guys might.
Which one?
How do you guys remember all these codes, man?
Unfortunately, you look at them on.
Yeah, I think,
So office supplies, we have budgeted for this year 125,000, and they've spent roughly 80 of it.
okay,
Way to find something, Sylvia.
well, I just,
Keep going.
now that we're gonna start right in, and we've got,
Don't stop digging.
Well, call them up. Let's talk about it.
Well, I mean, I mean, they'll be up, but maybe it's an area that, you know, she just thought of if we see something.
No, it's a good idea. It's, let's,
But I'm just trying to get off a general conversation.
That's how
Anybody?
it was created.
Yeah. Yeah, there's things like that, you know, Sylvia. They also kicked out the sheriff's vehicles a couple of years ago, you know, because we were kind of over budgeting, but I had them take a look at it, and we're underspending right now this, and, you know, maybe that's the spot we can slide the 220,000 back in, is the CCD. So, you know, it's things like that to remember, that we can move things out of the general fund to underutilized budgets, funds that will free up so we can get some raises out. So it was a good point, you know, if anybody's got anything else, but that $3 million, yes, investments are up, interest rates, investments, 3 million, but that would be crazy for us to start budgeting an extra couple $1 million when that's certainly not an amount we could rely on. I've suggested and talked to a few people if we could maybe just increase it a little bit, rely on $1 million, you know, for a couple years, and take that extra couple million and move it to some type of rainy day fund, or just leave it in the general fund and not allocate it, and use it for like IT and upgrades, IT and safety upgrades. I think there's a request in the IT for the court systems. They need like a $400,000 upgrade.
wow.
Yeah, I mean, IT can cost a lot in a hurry. You know, I don't know where things are at. Sheriff, we talked briefly early in the year about security in all of our buildings, you know, without, you know, airing everything publicly so they know which doors don't lock and stuff like that. So, yeah, that'd be good.
I assume all doors lock.
Yeah, they're all locked. Come on.
I just want to clarify. The newspaper's here.
I mean, you know, by now I've got a little sense of humor. You know, because those ticket items can cost a lot, you know, and if we've got a little fund that we're not sure if we can rely on it for, you know, the long run, we capture that money for capital items like IT and security upgrades. And that could be at $2 million a year possibly for a couple of years. So, and if we're not spending that, it could be used for other things like maybe ambulance service. You know, just some ticket items that may be building up and coming at us, because I'm not sure we can completely rely on reoccurring costs with that.
Not with
You know?
that.
Go get them. I don't know, anything else? You guys want to dive right in, or Sylvia's digging in still?
Yes, ready. Let's rock.
Not fooling around.
Questioning a figure.
She's not fooling around. So we can get going with the prosecutor. If we want to start, we can bring the prosecutor up here and take a look at a couple budgets and get things going. I think we've got a couple to get through today. I haven't been home in 2 weeks, so I'd like to get there today, tonight, tomorrow. Somebody might have to show me where I live.
What are we looking?
I'd rather you sit down. Yeah. Get comfortable. Don't
Thank you.
throw anything.
Okay, I'm happy.
She's happy.
Life is good then.
All right, so pull up the Prosecutor General Fund. We'll get going on second reading. So looks like some increases in salaries right away, ladies and gentlemen.
So they've
Yes,
been,
not only an increase in salary, but it adds a number of people to to our staff. That was reflected in the submission that I provided to you, and so I understand that's going to be deferred.
That's the will of the council, and, you know, I know Mr. German sends us all by the numbers every year, and
we haven't.
He's been telling us the same thing. He adjusts his argument a little bit once in a while.
Sure.
Throw some new
I
evidence
changed the
there.
colors of the brochure because the other one didn't work very well.
So this is red.
Yes.
I remember purple.
Green,
Was there green?
I don't know, there's, I
think so.
thought about green because it's mud.
Uh,
a couple years ago.
All right.
I haven't, my,
So I have a question. When I know we're taking the numbers out, but I'd still like to understand it with salaries. You are asking to take all your people up to midpoint plus an 8%? Is that the request?
That is the correct request, and the 8% is the cost of living for our last year. I think the cost of living for this year is going to be like 3%. So I think by taking the midpoint and then the 8% sort of draws us even. Otherwise, you know, we're falling behind once again.
Well, I think you heard us talk at the beginning. Our initial thought would be to go to midpoint
try to see.
and then a 2, 3, maybe 4% increase. So just so you understand where our thinking is,
Fine.
that's just me talking and that's just what
You
we're
know,
discussing up here.
No, I totally understand.
Okay.
But you're right, that's where the number came.
And then how many people were you looking to add?
In the best case scenario, 2 victim advocates, 2 court managers, and 3 lawyers at higher paid positions to handle our F5 felonies and above.
Okay, so what do you really need? That is a huge ask, and I don't think we're gonna get that. I'm just, again, talking for me, but that's a big ask.
So depending on how much money is available, I would almost rather bring the positions for the lawyers up higher so that if someone leaves, I'm going to be able to replace them with a good lawyer. So if there were, if you were going to hire another lawyer at $100,000, I'd almost rather have the $100,000 to disperse among the lawyers that are there now. That will lock them into a higher paid position so that in the event that they do leave, then I'm going to be able to hire a really good lawyer to take their place. Even lawyers who have been in the private practice for 5, 6, 7 years, who have an interest in prosecution, I'm going to be able to bring those lawyers on staff. Now, we lost a really good young lawyer who basically doubled his salary to go into the private sector. But that's a lawyer that if we got close to what he was making now, I think he would come back at lesser pay to do the kind of work that we're doing.
Okay, that helps me understand
Yeah.
where we can go with this, so thank you.
It just seems like every department head that's been up here, you know, trying to be with the private sectors, it's just tough. I mean, it's the times we live in, and it's happening everywhere.
Yeah, and I think some of it is we fell so far behind. We're playing catch up. We're getting there. I think you guys are doing a great job of getting us back to where we should be. It's just, it's a slow process, and I understand that. But I mean, if I had to prioritize where I am with respect to our office and what we're doing, and the cases we're handling, the complexity, just like I said to Andy.
All right, so we're going to take the salaries and the additional people, and we're going to talk about those at the end. Can we talk about a few of these increases? We've got maintenance agreements going up $3,500, not a major increase.
So, yeah, if I could pause you just one second.
sorry.
You know, no, you're on a good track. I like it. I like to not be the only one talking up here, you know, so keep going with what you're doing, but yeah, they're just adding the bottom there. So if that's what you guys agree upon, that's what I said, what we usually do, and Andy, you just said that. I mean, we can take votes on this, or we could just kind of do it as long as everybody agrees, and we'll vote on the bottom line, but is that what you guys want to do? Do you want to take the salaries back to
yes,
what they were and take out the increases?
for the time being, yes, that we know.
I agree.
All right, then let's take the salaries back to the 2023 level.
So are you guys going to, the auditor, are you
Do
going
that right now, is that, and that's what we,
My question is this, you're saying back to 2023, but we have, on the 144, we have it listed to the midpoints. So the question is, if you look at your 144, everything highlighted in green,
Is mid,
taken to mid,
so there's,
it's already included in there.
got you, okay.
1.3 million includes the midpoint.
No, that's a great point, yes.
Anything in excess of that,
Yes.
that you're not going to do tonight is not included in that 1.365 number.
So the number we're looking
So-
at is midpoint.
Yeah, the 1.365223 is midpoint, because you told us to take it to midpoint only.
No.
Anything in addition to that, they
Yes.
present at the meeting.
You're absolutely right there. Yep. So that 1.36 million is midpoint. Thank you. Yes, that's perfect. So that doesn't include, okay.
And we want to leave that in now?
I think we have to leave that in. That was the promise that
That's fine.
we made last year to finish that.
Well-
Up and above and beyond that is what we need to, yeah.
Sense, yeah.
Yeah, I think by taking that, yeah, we've already, in my opinion, we've already said yes to that, when we started the process last year. So, all right, no, thank you for that, Madam Auditor. And I think, Gary, you said it. Sheriff, you said it. I understand too that this wage study is not like current to this date. I think you both have made that point.
The world blew up like right after we did it too, yeah.
Right, exactly. So, and that was last year before we made the approval, and then it's even a year older today
Well,
too. So, I mean, it's duly noted.
we have come a long, long way in
For
raising
sure.
salary.
Oh, absolutely. From when I started, this is my 5th year here, from where we started 5 years ago, it's night and day.
And we want to keep going in that direction, absolutely. So,
So
all right.
the 83,682 number is the increase on taking them to midpoints. That doesn't include any new people. I mean, it really,
Exactly.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
perfect.
we want to leave that in there. Thank you.
Everything green,
Yep.
midpoint.
Okay, then can we talk about maintenance?
Yeah, go on. Thank you.
What's the increase for maintenance agreements for?
The IT department signed a new contract for our copier. That contract changed the number of copies that we can make and not allow for color copies. So when we've been outsourcing our color copies for trials, but we just sort of gave an estimate for what it would cost to make the copies that we need on a monthly basis and for color copies for trials.
Just,
It's something that could come out because we've been outsourcing it and paying for it with either infraction deferral money or pretrial diversion money.
Wouldn't it be cheaper to buy a copier
Then what?
than rent one?
The ink.
I don't know, I was just asking. I was curious, is it cheaper to buy one?
That I do not know. Like I said, we get our copier itself, and the maintenance contract is through the IT department.
Yeah, most businesses I've ever been around, because of maintenance and ink and stuff, it's all like leasing. But yeah, did you have something? Ryan?
just real quick for all the council members, because IT had to sign a new contract, a lot of departments' maintenance agreements have and will be going up. So everyone that comes in front of you, if they have a copier or a big copier, for the most part, they're gonna see a slight increase by no fault of their own or choice of their own. So
They're all gonna be going up 3,000?
I won't say, I don't know exactly how much per department, but I do know that they signed a new agreement, so per department,
Wow.
depending on, if you use a lot of money or a lot of paper or not, then, we happen to have 2 in ours.
I can kind of dig it. So, Mr. G, can we remove that then? You said that you can continue to cover that?
Thank you.
Well, yes, if you throw that into the salaries,
Can't promise anything. I'm just looking at these numbers.
yes, I mean, our pretrial diversion fund is really healthy.
So we can knock that down to
Free trial.
3,475. Andy, you got to jump on it when he says it. You don't just don't.
Yeah, I did, but then he started making profit.
I started putting conditions on it.
You can't let him do that. You got to jump on it right away.
He's definitely an attorney.
So
So we'll take that back to the 3,475.
and
So there's another $3,500 available for an increase in a prosecutor's salary.
Why are you looking at me?
you're the one asking questions over there. So all right.
Well, you give us this 20,000 back too. We got 40,000. Yeah.
Now, that's a brand-new account. Are we talking about the prosecutor forfeiture?
No, we're on the general fund still. That's how far we've gotten today so far.
I thought you were giggling about something.
so, no, we haven't moved on. No, he was talking about another fund that he could pay that increase.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so do you, Sel, do you want to talk about that? Because that's where it would be next, if you remove that.
I mean, yeah, you guys got to double work this. I really love the presentation. I like this. You got to go back in the regular, so you guys are good.
Well, it's still
But
on.
we're knocking that off, though. They did on the regular one,
So
the regular sheet.
on this sheet right here, we will just leave it.
Okay.
As is,
That's
and we-
static.
And we are changing it in Lao.
I saw you do that, yeah. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
May I make a suggestion? Due to the fact that IT normally has most of their money that comes out of the CCD fund, would it not be to the advantage, instead of paying an outside source, finding out what they pay per page, to have IT do some research to find out the cost of color copies and purchase one? Because IT does, most of their stuff comes out of the CCD fund.
Purchasing a copier, but not the individual.
Most of the what comes out of it?
IT, the items out of the CCD fund. They're
Well, we have in front of us right now, somebody's willing to give us back.
No,
I understand that. He's gonna take it out of another budget, and it's gonna affect his other budget.
Which he said was super flush. Those were his words, super flush.
Right. I even wrote.
He didn't say that, I was joking.
He also said he wants other salaries brought up.
No, you've got a good point. I was just.
Okay. Nope, thank you.
Okay, we're waiting to go to number 2.
Yeah, just grabbing some notes. So that was taken out. So then everything else is the same on the general fund. We've left the salary increase because that's the midpoint, and we took maintenance agreements back. So what's the difference on that then? So the budget, is that the right number? 1,365,223, or no?
That's just for salaries.
The whole bottom line in the general fund that we could approve?
I don't think they have a line item or an item on with the general fund.
They're working it. We'll get a flow going.
From now on, you gotta bring up the green.
That's the new number?
13766.
So the new number of the general fund for the prosecutors, $1,376, $1,376,698.
Looks good. We're not making a motion on each one, are we?
Yeah, we're gonna approve these, that's the budget.
To approve.
The general fund budget.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Same sign. What time is it? One budget an hour.
6:27.
All right. Prosecutor forfeiture.
Can you just tell us what you're doing? Because it looks like it wasn't budgeted pre.
You want to explain that?
Yeah.
Sure, all I'm doing is setting up line items for office supplies and legal to the extent that we need them. I'm not asking, it's the money that comes to us from drug money forfeiture,
Oh, okay.
seizures. We are going to be setting up a separate account because I don't want to commingle state forfeiture funds and federal forfeiture funds because there are different restrictions that apply to the expenditure. So I've talked with Ryan or emailed Ryan, and we'll be in the process of doing that. But all this does is set up 2 separate line items. That we're not,
And that money can only be used for certain things.
yes, right.
Okay.
But I have a question. You've got lots of office supply budgets
That's-
and different things, and it's a lot of money. So why do we need $20,000 for office supplies?
That's just a safety number. If there's a line item in our infraction deferral fund, it's really non-existent because that fund basically lives month to month. Because salaries are still being taken out of that fund.
But
That, of course, includes insurance and Social Security and taxes.
But what I'm saying is there's like 30, 40, there's $40,000 I can see, maybe more than that for office supplies that we're allowing you to spend on office supplies. So you could spend $40,000 on office supplies, and maybe you need that, but it seems like a lot of money.
like I said, it's just so I don't have to come back.
But we don't mind seeing you. And we like to have an understanding of where this money's being spent, because that's what we're here to do, is to
Well, you would still, the claim forms still have to comply with the State Board of Accounts. And just because the line item is there, doesn't mean that we're going to spend it or spend it unwisely. In fact,
oh, wasn't saying that.
no, but if we have an office supply expense, we're going to take it from pretrial diversion or infraction deferral. The forfeiture fund is a savings account for the prosecutor's office. So this will be the last fund that we touch. It's money that I'm hoping to use at some point for the establishment of an internet crimes against children's unit. So I want to maintain as much money in that account as possible. Nevertheless, we may still need to rely on that at some point for office supplies and some of our trial expenses. Because we're having more trials are more expensive. We just paid an expert $3,500 just to do an evaluation. That did not include trial testimony.
Thank you.
Have you seen an increase in cases, say, within the past 2 years?
I would say yes, more cases are going to trial, it seems, because we have more serious cases. The more serious the case is, the more difficult it is to get resolved. The cases are more complicated. We employ more experts than we did 2 or 3 years ago even, but clearly more than 10 or 15 years ago. Expert-driven, technology-driven, and so on.
Do you have a projection figure, like, let's say the county grows by 10% in population, do you correlate any type of projection with?
I can't say that for sure.
Okay.
No, I'm not sure there's any correlation. It's just sort of random.
Maybe we'll get lucky and get nice people in here and everybody's nice.
We do. What we do have, though, is, from what I can tell, is we're spread out. We're not a county like Vanderburgh that has Evansville. And the more people that are sort of packed in closer together, it seems that the serious crimes have increased. But, we're kind of spread out through a pretty large geographic area, with Portage here, Chesterton there, Valpo here, Cowles, Hebron, and so on. Plus, we have great people who live here.
Thank you.
Okay, what'd you decide?
All right, it's the prosecutor forfeiture. 1, 2, 3 in front of you. I think it's $40,000. Is that the budget?
More than half that's what's in there.
You mean,
What'd
you
you
can only
say, Ann?
spend what's in there, and you can only spend it for certain reasons.
Right, motion
Right.
approved.
There's a motion,
Second.
second on the floor, discussion. Seeing none, all in favor of the prosecutor forfeiture fund, I think the number was $40,000, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Aye.
Prosecutor user fee deferral fund, 2501. So,
All right,
I have-
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, I'm
So I
sorry.
always take out the salaries because I always say that creates potential conflict because we're raising money through our infraction deferral program to pay salary. So it's reflected as out, but when I take it out, you always put it back in. So I'm expecting that. But for my conscience, I need to ask you to pay that out of general fund, it's salary. But there are 3 staff members' salaries who are being paid out of 2501. And that's the fund that is distressed from time to time. Because in addition to salaries, then everything else comes out as well.
so you say from time to time, what about now?
I think 2501, I thought had maybe $33,000 in it, but I am not sure at what point the insurance benefits will be deducted along with taxes and Social Security. At one point, that fund had like $360,000 in it, and then it just, over time,
Is it
depleted.
because we're putting salaries in it? Is it because we're not deferring as much?
The deferrals are down a little bit, and so we're doing our best to rectify that if we can. It's a voluntary program that people with infractions can participate in. I'd like to see us generate $25,000 a month in that program, and last month, September, it was $13,000. But it's hard to tell. how much.
So you're asking us to put this 132,845 into the general fund?
Yeah, that's what I always ask for, but the answer is always no.
Wow,
He's asking to move salaries in the general fund, and
that's not a joke.
I don't think we can do that, so, but there's a difference. What was the difference of the 5,675? Is that the exact same thing? Is that?
Midpoint.
Midpoint, thank you. So, no, I don't, I just don't think at this time the general fund can handle that. I like your goal. I think that,
You should definitely ask.
so infractions, I mean, that's just basic
Traffic ticket.
traffic tickets and nobody that, they just rather just pay the ticket and move on and not come and pay a deferral fee
I
and,
think some people think that if they contest the ticket, police officer isn't going to show up, so the case will get dismissed. But our officers show up, and so then we'll have a trial to the court, and they're found guilty, and they have to pay a higher fine. The advantage of the infraction deferral program is if they pay the infraction deferral fee, after a year, we dismiss the case. It does not go on their driving record. They don't require points. And most importantly, their insurance company doesn't find out about it and raise their rates.
so maybe these people that are going in thinking one of the officers aren't going to show up and they lose, we should put a slip on top or something, said you could have deferred this, so make sure your friends don't make the same mistake. We have a program. Thank you. Have a great day.
No, we do. Our lawyers are out there talking with them about the infraction deferral agreements. And some months are really good. Some months it's $23,000, $24,000. So, yeah, no, we're doing the best we can.
I'd make a motion to approve the county user fees pros deferral as displayed here.
All right.
You're
What
talking
was,
salaries?
no, I think he just made a motion for the entire,
Yeah, just make a motion for the whole thing so we can discuss.
for the fund, which is down slightly, if I can see that right, $339,238. Is that the bottom line? Correct? So there's a motion on the floor to approve the
Second.
deferral. There's a second for a little bit of a decrease in that budget. Discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Same sign. County user fee prosecutor pretrial. So there's salaries in there a little bit.
Saving us.
Is it-
Yeah,
Alas, is
one person.
one person, and that's the same thing as that midpoint?
Yes.
Thank you. There's a FICA decrease, there's a little increase in medical, there's a perf decrease, there's some increase in office supplies. You guys are gonna make me do this. There's a legal.
Well, just can you tell us
Up $10,000.
why is FICA going down? Why is perf going down? And that happened in
Big
the last
number.
budget too, which is great. It's a savings, but just curious.
Less people?
Or did we make some kind of issue?
Is it less people?
No, he just said there's one salary. out there.
salary out of there.
It's one salary. Is it going down?
Yeah, $3,000.
Ryan or Dave, do you happen to?
Is that,
Gonna be.
do you guys know why that would be?
Brian's research.
Okay, thank you.
With that?
I mean, it's a good thing.
Yeah, it is, but until he comes back to bite us and he's like, I need this money.
One of them does get paid, part of it does get paid out of the general fund.
So this is balancing the right amount, percentage of the salary to the item?
Yep.
$10,000 increase in consultants, I thought you'd go after the bigger number, Andy.
I can't hear you. What? Yeah, what's this 10,000? I heard that.
And consultants.
What's the increase for the consultant?
Yeah, that's our experts for trial, for our forensic pathologist in a death case. As I said, we paid $3,500 to an expert in the case involving the bomb threats to all schools for the voice analysis. And we're about to hire a forensic psychiatrist in a case with a potential victim with dissociative identity disorder. So that's going to cost a ton of money. The expert we've located is in Virginia. So we're going to get the best expert we can in an effort to try to win that case.
You see?
So it's me anticipating increased costs in those consultants. And again, it doesn't add anything to the general
Right.
fund.
And-
It's just available for us to call upon when we need it.
I'm curious about something, I don't know if this is apples and oranges, but forensic psychiatrists, now we have
Beautiful. Dave.
the opt-in from the state, and one of the things, areas we were looking at is mental health. So why couldn't there be a crossover from that and, use their person, and it's already gonna be picked up
And
from
I
the
was
county?
gonna say the same thing, because I know the sheriff's gonna be, I think, talking about a psychiatrist to help
And we,
sheriff's budget, and I was gonna ask, why can't we use that?
yeah, kill more than one bird
Budget
with
for
the
mental
same
health.
stone, that we're.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, the stone thing's hilarious.
Okay.
Are you talking about this $10,000 in consultants? Is that what you're?
Yeah, by using the person that's gonna be, with,
Oh, but this, yeah, and maybe I'm out of line here when I'm listening to the prosecutor. I think this is for like potential trials, right? You're bringing in like witnesses and stuff. I'm not sure that would be even a conflict potentially that we have an employee that is, so.
Yeah, no, this is not for treatment.
this
This
is
is
for
to
expert.
prepare.
well, if they were a forensic psychiatrist, wouldn't they have the expertise to be a witness for the prosecution, just out of curiosity?
Well, yes, at the same time, when that expert is testifying, we want somebody that's reasonably independent.
Yeah.
Oh,
And an employee of Porter County who is arguably going to.
Conflict of interest then may be one of the reasons opposing counsel.
This is an expert that is an expert in this field specifically.
I don't think we do. So it's $144,306, and it's a slight increase and this is a deferral fund.
I'll make a motion that,
Second.
Motion and a second, further discussion, seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
aye.
Sign. All right, prosecutor.
I'll make a motion to accept prosecutor CA.
Second,
There's a motion and a second on the floor because
No changes.
there's no changes potentially. Looks like everything's the same. The bottom line, is that it? All right, I like it when we're going faster. And Dave, make them work over there.
About time we caught up.
And that's the $10,000 line. Motion is second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
aye,
Same sign, domestic violence grant.
Motion to approve.
second,
Motion second. Discussion. Is there a little bit of an increase? It looks like in salaries.
The grant.
The grant, and is that the midpoint? Motion second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
aye,
Same sign, stop grant prosecutor.
You got it.
That we may have to rework a little bit because the grant increased from like $50,000 to $63,000. So depending on what you do with the salaries, I think we will have less of a contribution to be able to match that, which is 25%. So I need to kind of see what happens with that salary, and then I'm gonna have to work backwards with the auditor.
Okay.
May result in less money coming from the general fund and from our
Okay.
pretrial diversion fund.
Perfect.
But I've given those numbers to Brian.
Love the notes too. So,
Motion to approve stop grant prosecutor.
motion second on the floor. I think the bottom line is the 56,123. All in favor signify by saying aye.
aye,
Opposed, same sign. Prosecutor General, 4D, incentive.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion, second. Is there some increases, salary? I'm gonna go with that's midway, FICA increase to follow, perf to follow, to be in line with the increase. Bottom line is $123,249. Motion is second. Further discussion? Hope that's right. All in favor signify by saying aye.
aye,
Opposed, same sign. All right, we're getting in a rhythm. What's next? 40 incentive.
Another grant. I'll move to approve.
Second.
Motion is second on the floor. Increase. Midpoint. Some perf increase. A little high increase in perf there, but motion is second. The numbers, well, is that number down?
Yeah,
Which number am I looking at? The 185,000? Tell me to stop if you need me.
8.7. It'll be, it's this right here. That's right.
Yeah,
Got it.
85, 796.
185, 796, correct?
187,441. Oh, yeah, yep, 185, 796 total, all day.
Motion is second on the floor at 185, 796. Further discussion, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. I think we're done with the prosecutor. I know you had something going on. Are you gonna make it? Are you on time? You late?
I'm gonna make it 7 o'clock. Thank you very much for squeezing.
And stay tuned, and
Yes.
if you've got any ideas, you wanna throw us anything, we are gonna try. I try every year, and I'm gonna try to, I wanna give raises.
Yeah, so, maybe give some thought, as I said, to, making X amount of dollars available, to,
And we did that for you a couple years ago, I think it
Good.
was.
Does that
Was it,
work really well?
was it last year or 2 years ago?
it was 2 years.
2 years ago, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I remember that. That was Mr. Jessen's suggestion, yeah.
Another thing is, I'll work with, so we have lawyers now that have been with us for 2 years. So they're not new lawyers anymore. In fact, one just won a jury trial in Portage. So they're becoming more experienced, and so therefore they should be paid more, I think. But if one of them were to leave, I wouldn't necessarily want to hire them in at the same level that these more experienced lawyers are being paid. So I'd like to have some sort of a process in place that I can pay a new lawyer less money, still a good salary, still getting good people, without moving them into a spot that's being vacated by somebody with 3 or 4 years' experience. So that's something to think about as we kind of move forward to, just creating stability and at the same time being able to hire new lawyers, good lawyers, if someone leaves.
Sure. All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
What do we got? Sheriff, come on up.
Next victim.
What's that?
This is next victim.
All right, good evening.
Good evening.
We getting Kathy on the phone? I'm kidding. Kathy's in Hawaii right now.
Vacation, huh?
Yeah.
So this is, I mean, that's all you could come up with?
We got this new system. What conference are in?
No, right?
All right. Just like breakfast.
Yeah, right.
Sorry. All right. Sheriff.
Yes.
All right. I think you're like the rest, aren't you? No.
No, we got
Almost.
close.
Almost. So, all right, here we go.
Yeah.
What's the matter?
I said I'm glad he can see that up there. I'm trying to,
Well, he's got us like in a triple split screen, and I love it. He's got us, the sheet with the changes. He's got us the LOW system that shows the bottom line, and then he can show us some balances over here of underutilized funds, Sheriff. I'm hoping you got some for us.
where do we start?
Yes.
Salaries is the mid increase, correct?
What's that?
Salaries is midpoint increase, guys?
On that, yes.
Is it
131.
guaranteed?
Yep.
The next thing would be in red. Why do you need less for overtime? I thought you guys pay a lot in overtime. Why is it going down from 1,000?
Right now up there.
Because you got the new account? Is that what it is?
No, I think she went back to the 2023. No, it's 80.
Yeah, it's actually the same thing
Yeah.
there.
Oh, it's no increase. Okay.
It's
Right.
because it took into account
The additional.
Okay.
Okay. So you didn't request any more?
No.
Keep going, Andy.
Merit pay is just because you got the guys have been here longer. You got to pay them more.
Yes,
Perf. That's the big one. 300,000.
it's a big one. Right.
Can you kind of explain what's going on?
That's due to inflation, the investments. We got a beat here. All right.
So that's just your routine, just increase because of those investments and the inflation.
That's no control that we can do about it.
So what, I mean, are we chasing a loss? Are we supplementing a loss in the investments? Do we need to find somebody to invest our money better?
No, I think they're doing a great job with what they have. It's just one of those things. It's the nature of the beast, so to speak.
Yeah, I sit on that.
Wait a minute.
That was an investment loss and raises, so I actually called Chris Diltz and we had a good conversation about that on the pension board and, you know, depending on investments, sometimes we have gains, sometimes we have losses, and it was last year we had losses and due to some raises.
Right.
This is,
Wow.
Can I ask a dumb question? I know I don't mean it like this, but what if we didn't do 306,000? What does that do to you guys? And I'm not saying we wouldn't, but just curious, what's the repercussions of, say, that we only gave you half or something like that? Would you not have enough to pay out to the office?
It's underfunded at that point, you know, and then our paper processors also contribute to that. So it's not 100% from you guys. It's also, when our paper servers go out, that generates funds that help offset that as well. Yeah.
and also out of the Fed money, that we put 170,000 out of that, it goes towards pensions also out of the,
Okay.
Goes towards what?
out towards the pension, 170,000 out of the Fed money from the federal inmates goes towards the pension also.
Is there an increase on that somewhere else that we're gonna get to, or this is the only perf increase?
That's the only perf increase right there, yeah. And from what I've been told, we have an increase because we had
Right.
good investment.
Yeah,
You know,
it's just one of those bad years.
I think our bogey's like 6.5 we have to hit, and if we hit 4, we're 2.5% below what we need to hit, and that's kind of how it comes about, from my understanding.
Yeah.
So it sounds like there's not much we can do there. What about per diem going up $9,000?
That's for 2 canines, not the wellness dog. We're not gonna add that into the per diem but the other 2 are, 1 canine came back, and then we got the bomb dog that we got this past year. So you guys are paying a per diem for the canines, and then we picked up all the rest of the per diems for all the other specialties.
Yeah, and then we also look at, paying for the dog food and all the medical expenses too that we wind up paying for as well. And then, like Tim had said, is that therapy dog that we're purchasing, one of our administrators is gonna be the primary handler. So there won't be that fee that we're gonna be paying, normally per diem. And then I'll be a secondary handler, Tim will be a handler, and then another administrator should be a handler as well, so. That offsets that expense.
Okay, what about?
How many dogs do you normally get, in a year? You've added these on, or?
Well, the lifespan of a canine is usually around 7 years on average, just because of,
You said they're coming back?
We had one guy come back this year that had a canine that came back to our department. He was a canine officer with us. He went to another job, quit us, and then he came back in the same year.
Oh, we get
Instead of,
the
So
dog?
he's bringing the
yeah,
dog.
correct.
in.
yeah.
Because you can't reissue the dog, and he's retiring after, I think in a few years, so it's not gonna be every year we're gonna come back and say, we need another money for another dog or anything like that.
Yes.
So this is 2 new canines is the increase, is that why?
Yes.
Yeah, the one that came back, and then the bomb dog.
Remember this discussion from last year. Wasn't there an increase, or did we start paying this last year?
You guys started paying the per diem last year. And that was because maybe I might be wrong, because you were given time off instead of paying. We had 110 days we were giving off to
And then-
canine guys.
And then it presented a problem of having officers on the road. Let's just pay them instead of giving time off, right?
Yep.
Right.
I wasn't on the council, but I
Right,
heard it last
yeah,
year.
yeah.
There's nowhere else to pay this increase out of? I mean, we want to pay, right? I mean, we have to pay.
We have to
We
pay.
can't,
Yeah.
but,
And we started that last year.
All right, uniforms, clothing's up $3,500.
35,000.
I was hoping 35.
Well, we gotta cut it back. That's what we're doing.
Right.
So,
Yeah, go
The
ahead.
shortage?
yeah, so last year there was a $20,000 reduction in the uniforms. From my understanding is that the question that was made, or the comment that was made was, cut it that next year, this year, we'll write it back into the budget next year.
Well, if I recall, all departments were being asked, so we could bring people.
Right.
Start this process of
Right.
paying for raises.
Right.
How much did you spend for that? I mean, are you,
Well, we came back to you guys for
Yeah,
additional.
we're tapped out, yeah.
What we're hoping is, obviously, the several that have left in the past, maybe will slow down. We could probably go ahead and, leave that. And if we use that amount, we can come back to you guys if we use the original budgeted amount.
So you're saying keep it at 40?
Keep it at
We
40.
could take the
And if you
35.
need
Yeah, keep it at
more,
5.
what was your additional?
What's that?
that
Do you remember?
Anticipated.
What was your additional that you came back for?
for this year, how much did you ask for?
I thought it was 10. I think, if I remember right, we came back for 10 more.
Why don't you take 25,000 off, add an extra 10 for now?
Yeah.
So 50?
I mean, we can leave it at 20, or where it is now, and if we need
We're
to
at
come
40
back
right now.
for it, we can just
Well,
go back.
you came back for the 10, let's just try to see where that goes. We'll try to keep that in mind. If we gotta,
One uniform and clothing.
Taking that one to
Yeah.
50.
yeah, that's the additional amount, and returning fugitives, $10,000 increase. Can we just leave them?
No, on these returning fugitives, is it for Porter County Sheriff's Department only? Or if you get a call,
It's any warrant that comes through the Porter County Sheriff's Office, it's anyone in the county.
pardon?
It's anyone in the county.
Is that them
So,
returning it to
in
us?
other words,
You to return?
somebody.
We going to get them. We got one right now in Texas that,
Okay, well,
Leave them, especially Texas.
Yes. What was that?
what I'm wanting to ask is if the city of Valpo, if they have somebody that's, are we picking up the cost for the whole county?
These are county, yeah,
For all the cities and everything?
right, so if somebody,
Well, we're-
if
okay,
somebody is
split
charged
bill.
by Valpo PD, it's still county charges through the
Okay.
prosecutor's office.
Okay,
Yeah.
Good question, I didn't know.
yeah, mark that one down.
And that was, you came up with the $10,000? This, where you're, this year, did you do an additional already?
we came back
Yeah,
with
we
an
came
additional.
back,
Big
yeah,
time.
yeah, we came back for additionals.
I don't remember every.
And again,
Everybody's asking.
you know,
So,
You're right.
so they started the year with 20, they're already at 60 in appropriations, and they're on track to spend all that 60.
All right. $1,000 decrease. $5,000 increase advertising. I mean, lights and sirens don't do enough?
well, this is the whole recruitment plan and, and how to generate applicants. And this money would be spent, same thing with events. Advertising and events, those could probably be in the same, okay? But what that is for is to go to job fairs, go to, anything that involves getting our message and who the sheriff's office is, and just to get additional applicants.
So what are you using that 5,000 for? I mean, are you print, literature, some type of,
All of it.
I mean, that's not like salaries you're paying overtime.
No.
And an officer
For-
there.
Yep, just for, like, for example, our PIO went over to IUPUI earlier in the week, or last week. He took, Frisbees, cups, mugs, pencils, pens, that kind of stuff. So some of these recruitment fairs that we go to also require a fee to participate. So that's what
Basically, you
it
took
is.
us to heart when we said,
Yeah.
what are you doing to get people in?
Right. Now, again, we could probably take that, because that's 10K right there. If you're looking at different things to look at, I mean, we can absorb that in other means, but this is dedicated funds, so,
Oh, you're talking about the event expenses also?
Event and advertising, yeah.
Well, I mean, if you could pay for that, I mean, I don't want to deter you from doing what you're doing. You're out there.
So why don't we, we can absorb,
So we'll zero both of those?
yep.
Yes. But I applaud you for doing that, getting out to those fairs, those career fairs. And you mostly go to college career fairs? I mean, you got to have still a 2-year degree.
No, there's no college requirement.
Maintenance agreement.
That, I don't believe the sheriff's office ever had that.
Not-
That's not something, when we hire, we look at the person generally, and hopefully either military college is just an add-on,
Yeah.
a benefit. But, those are definitely places that we recruit from colleges. We're going to start looking at ways of reaching out to veterans that are going to be leaving the service soon and try to start marketing to them. But I'm trying to find ways of, getting into that information and start saying, hey, you're getting out, you're from the region, hey, take some applications,
Andy?
things like that. So,
Right up your alley, huh? What do you got?
Okay.
Which Andy?
Suggestions?
He said Andy, and he looked this way. And,
I know, I didn't know.
The veteran.
Veteran.
yep,
okay,
yep.
my thought on the veteran thing, I think it's fantastic because you have people who understand what it means to put your life in harm's way to protect others. And you've got somebody who's got the mindset as opposed to, for the lack of a better word, a civilian who's never done it. And I think that would be a good segue from the military life into the law enforcement. But I do have a question on the next subject. We're going there.
And in the construction industry, we have something that's called helmets to hard hats.
100%.
We try to recruit that, but I know too, in the field trying to do that, we've gone to some of the recruitment offices, and they have a process to try to, I don't even want to say the wrong, phrase when guys are finishing up, their time to help them get into the job market. But we went to recruiters' offices, and it was tough. It was tough to find, the path or who to talk to, how do you contact. So I know it was tough. So I mean, if you can find that, I mean, that is a perfect target audience. That
Well,
the right
suggestion
path.
for your CB thing, if you're looking for a veteran, go see the Navy and look for the CBs, construction battalion guys. If you're looking for construction, using veterans that do this while they're in the military and they're already trained, plus they're veterans.
Yeah, and it's a target for all, but sure. So, well, yeah, let us know. I mean, obviously, if I appreciate you finding another area for that money, but I appreciate what you're doing. So the $311,000 is what you asked about, Andy.
No, I wanted to ask about the maintenance agreements. He went down. How'd you do that? Can you explain it to, because everybody else has gone up.
You know what? We shop around with vendors, right?
There you go.
And, again, one of the things
Exactly.
that we've always said is,
That's also got Motorola in there that hasn't been paid yet because it hasn't gone live.
right,
That'll go up once Motorola comes in.
yeah.
Good job.
I would like to ask about what you were talking about, the 311,000. Lease? Lease?
Are we done? We good with that? So moving on, $311,000 lease purchase. What's
That's the Motorola lease payments.
What is
Motorola-
that?
Sorry, yeah.
Radios.
Radios?
New radios?
Motorola.
Yeah.
Where was that paid from before?
What's
We've
that?
always picked it up.
Yeah, we've always.
Who did?
We have,
So, yeah, so here's the thing. Some of these increases are things that in the past have been said, we'll get it next year, we'll get it next year. So that $115,000 of that is the body cameras that the officers wear, the cameras in their cars. That's $115,000.
Okay.
Now, in the essence, in the spirit of, working together, we've been able to pay that year by year based on different, things that are coming in. We're willing to pay that again this year.
all of the 111,000?
Yep. Well, yeah, the 115.
115.
115.
No, in total amount of 311,000?
Well, the one,
Kind of a
150.
spirited effort?
I'm confused though, because there was nothing budgeted for this last year, so where was,
He was paying for it out
We
of,
picked it up out of,
paid the 311 last year? Well, then pay it again.
but
Oh,
what,
serious?
where were you paying it out of? You know,
That's
Data
data
tech,
tech.
data tech.
data tech,
recurring one.
that safety, data tech safety fund?
Is that fund not,
It's reoccurring, but there's other stuff being taken out of there, LPRs,
Right.
department cell phones.
Are we depleting that fund? I know it was healthy at one point in time.
Well, that's why we agreed we can get it this year because we got that grant
Right.
for 400,000
It's a grant.
Yeah.
for Van's office. It's paying for the LPRs this year. And then,
Well, and computers too.
yeah, and the 70 computers that we're helping IT out, because we got 70 computers that are coming to all our patrol guys. The entire department basically getting new computers out of this grant.
All right, let's start, you can take what out, 150
150 for the body
for
cam.
the body cams and put it, and that'll go back into, data safety. Should be coming up later on, so, that'll lower that a little bit.
So you're looking at 196 then?
It's, tasers and
They take back the 115?
or something.
They took back 115, that's gonna go into data safety. So what,
Vests.
what else is in there that's new then?
I believe it's vests and,
The Motorola?
oh no, the Motorola agreement.
Motorola agreement?
I'm trying to find that. What number is that one?
Hang on, hold it up.
There's no,
I don't know what data safety is, I'm so lost. Where's data safety?
Yeah, I'm looking for
Jeremy?
What number is that account?
Which one, data space?
Tech,
Yeah,
data tech.
Data tech?
Oh, here it is, right here.
public safety, data tech, 4907.
4907, thank you.
There's a lot of stuff that comes out of that one.
Oh, in the jail.
Yeah, we found that one hiding a couple years ago, and it was really, really
That was, yeah.
Yeah.
flush with money, so. So,
I get it.
it's still,
what else do we have?
still a lot.
Yeah, it's a big increase.
So you don't have any new grants or anything?
So, yeah, so a couple things, you know, obviously that technology grant that brought in 400,000. 225 of that is paying for the laptops, jail computers, the drug unit, and the detective bureau servers, because they're on separate servers. You know, so we feel like, okay, that's really helped out. Just talking to Lee about it, helped them out, you know, today with that. Like I said, 175 for the flock. Now, what we've applied for is for 2004 community project grant. That's for $175,000. That's to go to more IT things. When we were just talking to Chief and I were talking back here, you know, we're going to look for other grants that maybe we could write in to help with this place. You know, different security upgrades that are technology based. I don't know why that wouldn't be within the grant of request that we're basically looking at. So I just text our grant person and say, start looking for that kind of stuff to help out. So those are the two grants. The other grant that we applied for, but that's something that we're not talking about manpower and salaries, this one. But to answer Sylvia's question is we've applied for the 2004 COPS grant hire, which pays $132,000 over 3 years for one officer's salaries.
and we haven't heard anything?
It's still in the pending. We don't foresee a problem, but it's the federal government. They kind of
When will you know?
pace. What's that?
When will you know?
Hopefully soon. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not working right.
Yeah, we're not working right now.
The House is on strike.
Moving forward though, even if it was a.
Yeah, and that's true. That's right. Gary did.
The grant writer was, but.
Major Gear did receive an email yesterday or
2 days.
2 days ago saying that even with the potential governmental slowdown, that the application is moving forward.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
thought there was an increase for vehicles somewhere. 'Cause
There, what's that? Yeah, there is. It's it's the 100,000 request.
where's that at?
Where did,
Well, let's have.
that's gonna be, I
I thought it was in here. Was it in jail or something else?
think it's in the Fed. Is it the Fed?
It's
Or
the
is it
feds.
Oh,
4420, line item 4420.
Let's have
Motor vehicles.
okay. All right. Yep. I'm just thinking as a whole. Sorry, Sylvia. Right. Stay on track. I'm just looking at, all right. So $196,000 increase still in lease purchases. You know, that's, what is the change to the general fund? That's almost $800,000. So we can't give raises. Um,
True.
need help up here. We gotta, so the perf is the biggest thing, you know, perf and this, between perf and lease purchases,
We need some more help on that.
$500,000
The 311.
over that. Well, that's, yeah, $500,000 in those two salaries, uniform.
We can probably absorb that whole 311.
Now we're getting somewhere.
That's the vests and tasers
Yeah.
that
That's,
Where are you putting it?
we're gonna absorb it.
We're in data processing, or you put it
It'd
in
probably be
Fed?
seizures. Sure.
out of seizures this year, but the problem that we have with that is, obviously, like we talked about earlier, is the seizure issue is the fact that, number one, they move money now through internet apps, okay, through the internet rather than large amounts of cash now. So they pay, so the seizure funds, we might be getting a lot of drugs off the streets, but we're not coming across a lot of
Get
money.
cash.
What we've also done, and again, you know, this is probably a conversation for the last one, you know, we've really compact the whole resource allocation of manpower or staffing at the sheriff's office, and we had somebody in Chicago that was working in a DEA task force, okay, and that primary function at that point, he's been up there for 7 years.
He has.
Yeah, about 7 years. And the first year he was there, brought in over 150,000. However, it's really regressed over that, where to this year alone, he's brought in about 4,600 in seizures, okay? So I don't see a big impact. What I've also asked him was, are your investigations having a direct nexus from Chicago to Valpo or Porter County, okay, the Porter County area? We haven't been able to make that. Now, I'm not saying it's not happening, but in an effort to really bring boots back to Porter County, okay, to really help with what we are doing in law enforcement and drug enforcement and crime and, you know, detection and apprehension, we're bringing him back, okay, to Porter County January 1. Okay, he needed time to wrap up cases and things like that. He's going to come back. That body's going to be then allocated to our Porter County drug unit because that's where we're going to make the most difference locally. And so that I foresee that seizure, that money's not going to be there. So that's why I'm saying is this year we have probably enough in seizure that we can absorb that, but I can't say that we can do it next year.
So
That's good.
what budget is that you're talking about exactly? The
That's the 311 out of lease payments.
no, the forfeiture seizure.
Oh,
Yeah. It's just an interesting conversation.
what page?
Yeah. I was just still on
Drug
this.
task force action.
And I apologize to around here, but
Yeah. So that's going to be, what is it, 11805?
Yeah.
where's
8118.
81118, the sheriff DEA proceeds?
Yeah.
So 8118, thank you. So let me see now. So the cash balance is 293,000. No. So what's the unreceived balance in red? What is that indicating? Like, I mean, is that what we were expecting? We set a budget that high and we haven't got that revenue, or?
No, so that number just equates to the receipt, the amount of money that we brought in so far this year. So basically, the appropriation minus the expenditure were plus 98,000. The 97,924 is the balance that we've yet to spend in that account by appropriation.
But the balance, but okay, yeah, so, all right, so
say
cash
you-
balance
say
is
you
300.
Say you spent all your appropriation this year, you'd have just under 100. You'd have 197,000 left in that account.
Now, this year, we purchased cars out of that because the budget was cut, you know, the 100,000, so we purchased cars out of that. And that's kind of, you know, where we've kind of made that up.
So where is this all, so all this revenue then that's coming from, you know, we're still, looks like bringing in a decent amount though.
Well, that's not just for Chicago, that's three different TFOs that are
Yeah.
bringing that in.
We've got a HIDA and then also seizures from our local drug task force.
And, but by not having somebody there, that doesn't disqualify, I mean, we have to have somebody there to, or is this the,
Just Chicago only.
That's the Chicago one where.
We still have two other DEA TFOs
Yeah.
that can seize money still, if it's on the
But-
highway or whatever here.
okay. So then only a small portion, like you said, of that revenue we've gotten this year is from the Chicago one, the $4,000. Why you think it no longer
Right.
makes sense to have that resource there. But we're still bringing in, it looks relatively
Well,
same amount.
yeah, I mean, but it depends, right? Because, you know, it's not a guaranteed amount. It could dry up. You know, we may not have any seizures. You know, we might not have anything like that. So that's, even though it generates funds, we just.
Not a reliable.
How much?
Yeah.
It's just not, yeah, it's not a reliable funding source.
But it's reliable enough for next year, and we can
Right.
see what it's at
Yeah.
next, the following. I'll move to approve this.
Yeah, that's why I think the
Remove-
11 we can absorb this year out of that.
Right.
Yeah, I definitely would like to have a conversation more about that. That's interesting.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I'm sorry, the motion is second on, so what,
What was the final number?
So are we taking out the three?
take out the.
Taking out the 311.
311.
That was the motion, yeah.
Well, the civic, what'd we do with uniform and clothing?
We left it, uniform and clothing.
10,000, I think.
Yeah, he took that to 50.
If you just leave it at what we have this year, and if we come
All
out,
right, take the 10,000.
take it out.
Back to 40.
It was 40?
Forms.
Not arguing with the sheriff, it's never gone well before.
So leave it at 40?
He knows how to come back and see us if he needs.
All right, so we took the 10,000 out, we took the 311 out.
And the 40.
Correct. And the two 5,000s, correct. The event expenses and advertising.
Just wondering why in the other areas that it hasn't decreased in the same way, you know, the seizures, you know, people are going more electronically, whether it's, you know, at Bitcoin or whatever it is, that why it's,
They got apps like Venmo.
why it's affecting one area.
That's all gonna be through a Fed. The feds at that point are gonna step in, right? Because that's wire fraud, that's crossing state lines, that's doing all that other stuff where the cash seizures are in our county, on our roads, or, you know, we're a part of it. So that's why it's just, that's gonna dry up. At the end of the day, it's going to.
Well, a lot of that also is our TFOs going out and doing the seizures. So when our guys go out and do a seizure, say it's for state police, our guys go out, because we're DEA TFOs, we get a cut of that money. It's not necessarily our stops or anything, but we'll get, if
Right.
it's a $100,000 stop, I think we get 10%
As
of
long as we're there.
And the,
it. We do when we seize it.
and, you know, by us having federal task force officers, okay, the feds take substantially less money than if we were to seize that money through the state, which is through the prosecutor's office, where the prosecutor may take 80% and then, you know, the agencies participating get 20. It's actually the opposite way, where the feds take their 20 off the top and then we get 80%. If it's just us, we get 80% of that seizure. If it's divided between a couple agencies, it's divided equally.
All right. So, is that the right number? 6,732,468?
Correct.
Up from
Up?
6 $1,178,000. Was there a motion on the floor?
Was a motion,
Motion and a second on the floor? Further discussion?
Where do you see the increase amount? Is it real easy to see? Am I missing it? What's the difference between the 67 and, is it on the screen and I'm not seeing it?
What's that?
The difference between this year and last year?
Well,
Guys here?
I mean,
Without doing the math, I didn't know if it was.
Yeah, right there on the bottom.
Yeah.
yeah, it's right. Without doing the quick math, and
450, whatever.
yeah.
Well, that's what I was asking.
I mean,
Oh, I'm not missing a thing, okay.
yeah, we're asking them to do a lot already, multiple screens and stuff, so
I'm not doing.
get your calculator out.
It's 450.
They took my calculator.
Oh, I did.
So, all right, there's a motion second on the floor. Further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of that increase signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign.
Taser and stuff, we're okay.
We're in trouble. So, all right, thank you. That was some work though, but
Thank you for working with.
we're, all right, well, let's go. Accident report.
I'm good, except
Accident.
dues and subscriptions, 12,460.
Which one is that?
Yeah, and those didn't have anything
100.
budgeted, so they're moved into here. It's a base, though.
Let me see that.
Move some things in there. Yeah, it's like a
Soft-
$25,000 increase,
Yeah,
but it doesn't reflect 18. That shows 16, 17.
Excellent.
Not adding up though. I'm missing something. Am I on the right one? Accident report, right? So, oh, because those are decreases. All right.
Thank you.
It adds up. I didn't do the decreases. Yeah, I'm a little slow. All right. There's some increases there. Entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
A second on the floor. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Extradition.
Motion to approve.
Second.
There's no changes.
Motion and second on the floor. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Same sign, firearm training.
The savings, motion to approve.
Second.
Motion, second. Discussion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign.
Hang on, I just got a quick question here. What's the difference between returning fugitives and, I mean, that's returning fugitives again, that's twice.
Well, one is long-distance returning fugitives, okay, where we pay an
Right.
outside contractor. Returning fugitives is also us paying people to go get them. So there's two separate
Oh,
things.
wait a minute. It's hourly? What did you say? It's hour plus? I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, I said there's two separate. We have where our own people go and get them, okay, versus where we paying a company to bring them back.
It's Uber. They hire.
Yeah. Well, and just, so you know, one thing we are looking at
We approve.
is also almost like a prisoner Uber, as you say that, what it is, but it's gonna be through the Midwest, where it's kind of a share ride, where an agency may bring, a county may bring an inmate to us, they stay overnight, another agency comes and gets them, or we may take them to one area to another. So our jail commander has been researching that, and that could potentially be a substantial savings.
Like this one we have in Texas, if it was a place, Texas would drive them up maybe to Oklahoma, it'd be like bouncing them up.
gotcha.
And then in turn, we would house people for other people going through our area.
Cool.
But nothing,
Elk Run.
All right, we did firearms training, correct?
I believe we
I
did.
thought we
Yes,
did.
we did.
Andy?
No?
No?
Didn't I? That's why I moved forward. That was my fault, Dave. There's
There was.
There was a motion.
We made motion.
motion second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. There's I think a $5,000
That's what that is.
medical inmates.
Move to approve.
Second.
Quick question,
A second.
why is that going down? Because I thought medical and dental supplies would go up.
Didn't we put an additional this year too?
I know you guys, yeah, why is it down? Why is it down 13? I mean, great, give us the money back, but,
Well, it's
well, that's a fee base, that stays in
I
your
couldn't
account.
answer that, I don't know.
right.
Okay. All right, that's,
You guys can ask Kathy that around the phone.
She gets back.
I'm good. You're giving us money back, I'm good. Well,
No,
again,
it-
going into the staying account.
I remember the conversation about the dental.
Are we putting a string on an inmate's teeth and
Yeah,
slapping it?
well, you know, a lot of it depends on, you know, number of inmates and, you know, things like that as well. And it's hard to project, you know, what that's gonna look like. So part of that, you know, again, we can always come back.
Where are we at now? Are we on?
Medical
Medical
inmates.
inmates.
Motion a second on the floor for a decrease in medical inmates.
Okay, I want to ask a question about that. Is this, how much is the medical insurance now on, for the jail? It used to be, around $1 million.
I don't have that answer for you.
Yeah, that's,
You don't do that?
I don't have that answer for you. I don't, not
Oh.
saying we don't do it. I don't have that answer for you.
Well, I'm just wondering, I'm seeing dental supply. That's what,
It might be listed under the jail. You're looking for.
okay, you're right.
Sheriff.
Thank you. Very good.
and
Go ahead.
I think we paid them out of.
Oh, I was thinking it was jail too when I asked my question. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
All in favor of medical inmates signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Same sign, sex and violent offender fee.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion a second on the floor. What's the number? Is it?
1192? Is that what you're asking? Oh,
No.
what that number?
13,783 increase.
Bless you.
All signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Sheriff Pension Fund. 1193.
Move to approve.
Same. Motion.
Second.
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 All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Vehicle inspection.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion in a second.
Woohoo, we hit column 2.
What's the number? We got it? 5,000, is that it?
Yep.
Vehicle inspection. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. We got through one column. County user fee, sheriff, continuing education.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Same sign. County user fee, sheriff. Increase. There we go. Come on, Dave. Keep up with me.
Per diem.
Fast. Motion. Oh, anybody?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion. Motion.
Second.
Second. Discussion.
What's the $11,000 increase on per diem? Is that?
Anticipated training costs when people are leaving, going for training.
Oh.
The what?
Training, when people are gone for training.
I'm not keeping up with myself. Further discussion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Sheriff donation.
Wait, you're on drug
Drug
task.
task.
All right, yeah, sure.
Motion to approve.
Of course.
Motion to approve drug task force.
Second.
Second.
For-
Increase $146,063. Motion second. Discussion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Hey, just real quick, why are we
Sign.
doing motor vehicles?
Carried.
Stop. Why are we giving back 20,000 for motor vehicles when you need money for motor vehicles?
That's garage. Is that the garage, Tim?
This is the drug task force.
Oh, wait, where are we looking? Let me get
They're
here.
selling the drugs like you suggested.
The original
30.
budget was for 10,000. That includes 20,000 adjusted to the 2023 budget. So they're asking for the same amount as they did last year.
Oh, it's just wrong on our form.
There includes the additional.
Thank you.
Thank you for the explanation. Can I revote? Yes.
No. Sheriff donation.
Move.
Voted
Motion to
both-
approve.
both the prosecutor and the sheriff tonight. Keep it up, Andy.
Second.
I didn't vote.
Motion second on the floor. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Same sign. Bozak. Overweight vehicle sheriff. That was for the record.
Move to approve overweight vehicle.
Second.
Motion and a second at $6,500. Discussion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Videotape fee.
Motion to approve.
Second.
There you go.
Motion in a second. Discussion. $10,000. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Same sign. Photo duplicate.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion second. Of $11,000. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Portage School Resource Officer 4923.
Move to approve.
Second.
Why is it going down? Or do they not need
Yeah,
many
because,
officers?
as I explained before, we don't have full-time SROs in the schools, so the schools aren't contributing as much as they had been.
Why are we not giving
Because
them?
they don't want them during the summer.
Yes.
So they're,
Even though they have summer school, they don't have, use the sheriff protection?
no.
So they're not reimbursing us anymore?
Yeah, they are, just not 100%.
Oh,
A lot of the summer schools, they're doing it virtually,
Yeah.
online. They're doing it online
Oh, okay.
for summer schools mostly, so I know Boone Grove, we talked to them about it, and they didn't want it because of that, because there's nobody at the school.
so they're paying for when our officers in their school. That's all
That's it.
a wash.
Right.
That's all I need. Thank you.
The number was 216,362. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Same sign, Sheriff Overtime Fund 4932.
Motion approved.
Second.
There's a motion, a second on the floor. Is that the $155,016? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. DEA Proceeds Fund.
I think we discussed that earlier, about the $10,000 difference. Motion to approve.
Second.
This is where we agreed to put the 311,
No. Here. No.
correct?
Oh, okay.
No, I think that was data, the data
Oh,
tech.
The jail.
So the DEA is 125,000, same as last year. Was the motion? All in favor signify
Right.
by saying aye.
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 Signed, DHS grant, bomb suit,
Bomb suit.
5-7.
So we lost that grant. Move to approve.
Zeroed out. Motion. Is that right?
That's
Motion,
Second it.
second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Sheriff, done.
no, we're on jail now.
Jail.
All right.
Now in the jail general fund.
So we start with the prosecutor, then he puts them in, well, you should go first, the sheriff, prosecutor, and then the jail.
In a jail.
Well, and, and we recognize what struggles and obstacles the county has as a whole. So, that's why we said, look, if we can, what we can help out with now, and, it's just, we just don't know if it's sustainable on a lot of those funds. So, where we can help out, we want to help out.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate that.
Thank you.
We still got some increases, we still got some work cut out for us.
we still have to answer to Kathy, that one.
So why are you putting your stuff away? Well, now we gotta talk about the jail.
Yeah,
Start talking again.
You can't leave us yet.
Sorry.
yeah, he's trying to get away, he's got some money,
Yeah, he goes.
gotta figure out.
Binge run.
Elder moment, sorry.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
so Tim says you got some,
Got garage-
got some explaining to do with Kathy.
Yeah, we'll explain all this to Kathy
Yeah,
too.
we got, what's that?
We have to explain
I
to
know,
Kathy.
right? Kathy's
Well,
gonna,
at least you can watch the video. That'll help.
you guys benefit by Kathy not being. I'm gonna get yelled at.
We're still,
You did what?
stick around, we'll see what the damage is done. Jail general fund.
Oh.
So jail general fund, $5 million, $5,025,642, there's an increase. So between the sheriff and the jail, just quick math, it's a little over 11 million.
Now, remember that food is something that we can't control. And what we hope, well, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Like I tell the inmates when they go through chemical dependency and alcoholism graduation class, my goal is to not have them come back and to reduce our numbers, right? But unfortunately, we have to project how much food we're gonna use, and that's where that, increase, 175 of that is an increase in jail food.
All right, so yeah, real quick, the 136,000 is the midpoint for probably rest of the staff from last year. Looks like the hourly, there's, is it an increase in hourly? Am I looking at that right?
Hourly?
Why the hourly?
Hold on, let me catch up. Let me catch up here. Okay. Okay, so part of that is that 33,000 in overtime is that hourly, not overtime, but hourly, part-time, that I want to enter into a program with Ivy Tech that is going to help offset the needs for the amount of jail staff that we're needing to hire full-time. Okay, so if I can hire part-time Ivy Tech college students or that is still going to school, pay them an hourly part-time rate, put them in positions that would be like booking or different tasks where I can reassign full-time jail officers, it's gonna offset some needs, hopefully, for additional staffing. Now, we're still gonna need it. That's not where we're gonna talk on this here, but that's where that part of that 33,000 in overtime, or hourly is increased there.
All right, there's a decrease in overtime. There's an increase in physical and psychology.
What is that for?
Dr. Shelby.
Okay,
Dr.
so
Shelby.
that is, yeah, that's Dr. Shelby. And I hate to keep talking about ideas and projects because you guys have all heard it. Dr. Shelby is a psychoanalyst that I had hired at Valpo when I was the chief there, and that is to help the employees of the sheriff's office and, quite honestly, even outside agencies that are exposed to traumatic incidences. And because I feel like there's such a disconnect in the EAP, Employee Assistance Program, okay? When you call somewhere else in the country and say, hey, I've witnessed this traumatic experience, a suicide, a death, homicides, you know, just horrible things. And they say, oh yeah, well, based on what you're telling me, you're qualified for a couple phone calls to a psychiatrist or a psychologist. And what I've seen is Dr. Shelby is such a benefit to helping our mental health of our people that he used to be a reserve officer here at the sheriff's office, and he is a tremendous help to for the mental health of our officers. So he wants, and I agree to it, a $10,000 consultation fee where he gives officers a few sessions of counseling and, you know, directions on how to handle situations. I can tell you firsthand, because I've used him, what a help he is to giving officers the tools to deal with and equip themselves with what they are exposed to on a daily basis. But I also I would like to expand his services to dispatchers, firefighters, you know, these agencies that maybe don't have the funding, like volunteer fire services, right, that maybe don't have this help. And I feel for $10,000 a year, that's a big benefit to our community, because we expect our public safety personnel to help deal with someone's worst day of life. I think they need to be mentally prepared to do that as well. So that's a consultation.
And this is the one I thought maybe the health department
Exactly.
Yeah.
could definitely kind
And-
of step in and work with you guys on.
Yeah.
And help
And-
pay that.
Right.
That
So.
sounds exactly what it should be.
So, you know, that's one thing that I wanted, and that came up, and that idea came up prior to the submittal of the budget, okay? And so what I would like to do is, we could table that one and see if that's something the health department can help offset, okay?
Okay.
That expense,
So zero that one?
so we could remove that one.
But if they say no, you'll come back and.
You know, if they
Don't-
say no, they gotta talk to us too, so.
That's fine. I just want to make sure we don't lose that because I think that's very important.
Yeah.
Great.
They've got the money.
No, I didn't think so. I knew you
Not
liked.
gonna lose it, and I can promise you that one.
They're anxious to help.
A whole bunch of money.
What?
I don't know.
Department just opted into a whole bunch of money.
Right, yeah, I mean, they've got the money.
I thought they were talking about commissioners.
Sure.
Yes.
Tim asked me, did we get 100,000 for the car increase on that, or?
Weren't you gonna put that? in the commi-
Where was it at? I
And
haven't run into
That was
the,
in that was the one that we went over, and I was wondering if you were gonna mention that.
where
Did we already
at?
pass it? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah,
About it earlier.
With it in there or no?
it was in the sheriff, right?
Yeah, it was in the sheriff, very last page,
Yeah.
I believe.
Wasn't it the one that, no, it's, is that the motor vehicles? That's the fee-based.
I didn't see it. Rates. I was,
Motor vehicle 198,
but it's a decrease.
8118.
8118.
118.
It's not too late.
That's on the drug unit.
It was 110, that
They went to 100.
2024, they went to 100.
Under sheriff DEA proceeds?
You said that came out of commissioners at one point or something?
Well, I tell you what though, wait. Let's think, yeah.
Sheriff DE 81.
Is that the line item? That the vehicles
Yeah.
was increased? 2023.
Is that what you guys were asking? Sheriff?
That's the vehicles?
That's it?
Why did I think it was like 200 some thousand?
We initially were gonna ask for,
I don't know, but he went with 100.
Right.
Yeah. That was okay.
if we get additional officers, we're gonna need two more cars. But that, on the back end, which we might be able to,
That right now is coming out of Sheriff DEA proceeds and
Yeah.
It's in the 9601 jail.
is it in the federal money?
okay.
Yes.
All right. I thought I saw. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Not there yet.
Mr. President, I'd like to ask, on the food and grocery, that's a 324% increase over last year. Why so much? I mean, this is a huge number. You're
Personally, I think you ought to buy from a local produce organic. Just saying.
Okay.
What we learned from last year,
Might be a conflict.
Yeah.
Oh,
our
never mind.
contract was pre-COVID.
You what? I'm sorry.
Our contract with the groceries was pre-COVID, and once COVID hit, everything shot up. We were still getting a steal from, we go to the sheriff's association, and they're like, you're paying what? And so our contract came up, we rebid it out to everyone. We had 5, I think you had brought in. And the company we have is still the lowest.
What happened to the sheriff's wife cooking? I heard about that.
She's a good cook.
No.
There's just prices have gone up since COVID, and we were lucky to have our contract prior to COVID. Now.
So there was nothing, you guys bid it out, that's as low as.
Yep.
Right. Yeah.
Thank you.
But man, what was the percentage you said?
324%.
We had,
If my food grocery bill went up that much,
Yeah,
I couldn't
exactly.
survive.
Still think we should
Wow.
consider intermittent
Good
fasting.
example is look at the price of hamburger. I mean, that
Yeah.
just.
We've also talked
nuts.
about rebidding the Fed money out to see if that's gone up because
Yeah.
gee,
2 or 3 years old.
Right.
Because we were doing, I think it was 40 or $50. Now we're up to 74.
Yeah.
It might be higher now that the feds.
Worth looking at,
Yeah.
as long as it don't go down.
Well, in transparency, my wife owns the farm.
No conflict.
Still a conflict.
And the training and education with the $8,000 increase, can we move that somewhere else? Can we put that in one of your other budgets?
All right. Looking ahead. Where you at, Andy?
Same general fund, just,
general fund.
from what I gather, there's nothing we can do about food, so that's really worrisome.
Very.
Okay, so
Big
what that increase is the training for, so one of the things that we needed to address was a massive exodus of jail staff, okay? And so upon taking office, one of the things we've done is we've sat down and said, what are some of the reasons, right? Well, one of the reasons is that they felt training, as far as jail staff had access to as much training, specialties within the jail, okay, that things that motivate these people to want to help out and make the jail better. 2 programs that they really showed an interest in, the jail officers, were special investigations unit within the jail, and also a cell extraction unit, okay? So where normally we would have SWAT officers come in or things like that. Well, what I found is, what we found is that, they want to be a part of that. They want to take care of their own. They want to be, and so we've started those units. So that increase is for the training for 12 jail officers to go through cell extraction training, which is, just almost like a SWAT, but inside the jail.
Can you move that in another budget? I know we're asking a lot, but I mean, this one's a big increase.
Yeah, I mean,
This is a huge.
I'm more concerned with 400,000 than the 8,000.
I get it, me too, but what can you do about it?
Every 8,000 though.
So
Funds, it's a lot.
clearly,
Well-
one of the issues that we have, where I could say, you know what, maybe we could take that out of the Fed funding, but one of the issues that we have with the Fed funding is, yes, it brings in a substantial amount of money, okay? But what we don't know is the feds can pull those numbers at any particular time, okay? So we normally try to keep it right around 55 to 60 inmates, okay? But we've been as low as 53 since January at different times, right? So I want to keep that Fed money because there's a lot of things that come out of that Fed, the Fed issue, the budget. And I really would like to keep that around $100,000 of untouched expenses, okay? So, one of the things that we were talking about was, can we, that $33,000 in overtime hourly that we were asking for, can that kind of come out of the Fed money, right? Yeah, it could, but then, if we got $7,000 or almost $8,000 coming out of there, now we're getting within, because if you see all the different expenses coming out of that Fed line items, I'm very cautious because there's such a committal out of that funds that, no, I understand if we have, $300,000 sitting there, that's a lot of extra, cushion for different programs that we want to do. So by doing where we are right now, I'm thinking that's around $100,000, and so could we absorb that and take that out of the Fed money? Yeah. And I know we still have to have approval with it, that Fed money, but we also know that money's there. So that would be my hesitation.
Last year, we took out 10,000 out of training from the Fed money to balance the budget also last year. So it's like we're taking 10, then we're throwing 8 in there from a different.
So that would be my
I
concern.
see that. Okay.
Yeah.
So currently as we stand,
Ooh.
the budget's at, is that right? 5,015,642?
So it's like a $500,000,
Yeah.
540.
We've already, if you approve this and the sheriff's general fund, that's over $1 million. So
There goes the rest of the budget.
if you add the raises in there, just the midpoints, we're at 1.5 million. So, but
Well, Sheriff's hearing where we're at, and he wants increases for his people too. So, I mean, is there any ideas that you have further in this budget? I know that you're talking about that line item, and I was only talking about 8,000, but the
Right.
400,000, is there any ideas of? I get there might.
I know we've spent,
Okay.
between Tim, Kathy, and I, we have literally spent, 2 weeks just clawing and nail in at this budget. I mean, I can honestly tell you that. I mean, I completely understand. That's why we're trying to say, look, we're going after grants, trying to offset other agencies, with the 225,000 in computers that would fall in a different divisions, expense, so I totally understand. And we've gone over these numbers and and it's just where it is. And so that's all I can keep telling you guys is, I feel it, we're doing what we can, and, and so that's where I'm saying is.
And we're seeing it. We're seeing you put the effort. I know that you guys.
Yeah, food and grocery killed it. I mean,
I know.
Killing us.
$400,000, that just kills.
Is there any way that they could join forces with, say, like the schools when they purchase items for food, when the school buy food items?
We have a consortium that we.
Just out of curiosity, is that a
For
possibility?
lower prices?
For lower prices because you're buying
Well, so
volume?
at the end of the day, a lot of these vendors that we brought in, they also provide food for schools in different districts,
Okay.
And, we went and back and forth and, again, we're going with the lowest bidder on that, so, that's all I can say is I don't know. That's something we can explore, but we're also dealing with a completely different, environment too, schools versus jails and, so,
Nutritional requirements for the school.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Where are we at with capacity?
We're right now at about 370, 375 out of a 455 bed facility.
We're 85 or 80% capacity.
Yeah, we're 80%-ish.
Recommended is 80 to 85.
88 is,
The recommended capacity is 80 to 85% of your jail, because you have to move inmates around for programs or whatever, and you got to put them in those places where there's not beds and stuff like that.
I understand. Maybe understand that you're concerned with the fed inmates, but do we get calls? Are they looking for places to park inmates, feds?
No, I mean, as far as the feds, I think because of the connections we have, now are you saying bring more fed inmates in, is what you're asking, right? Because that's where I thought where you're going with that. We tell them all the time, we will take more.
I think when we came last year, Hammond was shut down and somewhere else in Illinois was shut down federally. So we were getting more last year, and those have since opened up and taken more people. But we, like you said, we still have a contact with the marshals and saying, hey, when you guys got guys, we'll take them.
Right.
We'll take 70 if you give us 70, because it's just more money for us.
Right.
And we
Right.
have,
And I'm looking at, that's why I asked about the capacity.
Yeah, we're not turning them away. And as they offer them up, we're like, yeah, give them to us.
What's the process to ask for the increase again?
Make a phone call.
no, that's,
I mean,
that's,
you know,
that's you're talking about the
You're talking
actual
about contract.
the contract.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Okay.
it's a phone call out to, I don't know who it is, but we can find that out. And I think last time we did it, the first 3 months of profit they took for the payment, I think.
Yeah.
So that's probably what it would be again.
Yeah,
It goes up.
the
We
company
decided-
that,
Right.
yeah, I don't know, it negotiates with the feds or starts the process, takes, skims it off the top.
And I have to look and see if the one we entered was at a 2 or 3 year, because I don't know if that one's up yet. Because I think it was so many years we had to be in that.
I've been doing it for 10 minutes.
But Kathy would know that, hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's even the right way to be,
As long as
but
you're not looking at hiring more jail to offset, I mean, because, you know.
No.
there's certain kinds
They're
of-
in the same pod. They're in the
Okay.
same pod.
Yeah.
They're all being housed in
Yeah,
the
they're
same
same.
pod.
Yeah.
So
There's
it's
a-
not really a,
Where,
and when you're talking, 10 additional inmates,
yeah.
that's not really a necessity to add additional staffing.
Right.
Although my jail commander probably would be if this was live, he would not be happy with me right now.
I have a question on your hourly, and I understand that's with, you're trying to start up an educational
Yeah.
program, but it went from 31 to 64 last year. Have you started this program last year?
No.
No, that's the hourly with your heavy tech.
Yeah, that's what she's asking if we've already started.
Okay, no.
No, we have not started.
So you didn't.
No, I have not started.
So where did we have the money for 31 from last year? 31,200.
All right.
We have 2 part-time guys working now, hourly. That's our transport guy and our port security.
Port security guy. Yeah, where that other part-time person wasn't utilized as much, but we're having more and more transport. So that's eating up a substantial amount of what they're asking.
excuse me.
So this is the educational program you're
Yeah.
wanting to start? And you're using them for transport?
Now, well, no, that's the hourly part-time employees. So they're going in that same line item.
Oh, okay, okay.
Well,
Now I can move that, worst case scenario, I can move that to the Fed.
We're at the worst-case scenario.
So we can take that hourly increase and absorb that into the federal budget, the federal, all right?
all right, we take out the difference, Dave? And, yeah,
That, yeah.
I think,
Leave it at 31.
yeah, I think we shouldn't invite Kathy back anymore. I like negotiating with you.
No. Oh, I'm coming back on next reading. Know that.
Kathy,
Then you're gonna be dealing with Kathy's wrath.
Well, we can't touch groceries, and we're
Well, what we're hoping is maybe we won't use all that 175 in the groceries.
maybe you need to get a bunch of grandmas to go buy your groceries.
Wait, what did you say? You might not use what?
I hope we don't use
Grandmas?
that entire
Grandmas.
175.
You're asking for 570.
Shopping.
No, that increase of 175.
No, it's way more than that. It's 397,000. Did you ask for the right amount? Because like I said, it's a $324% increase. It's a huge increase.
See, I thought it went from 177 to 250.
That's what's telling us.
25.
Something, yeah, 575,000 is what you're requesting. Or at least that's what our paper says.
Where's that? Where's that?
And you had 177,000 last.
It is 22,
Can we pull up that actual fund?
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
30.
Let's look and see
When
what's
did
been
the increase
expended.
start? This year?
The increase started,
Well, we moved money
Look at
for
what
it
they
already.
spent so far this year.
Yeah, right now, they have spent their entire budget,
They spent it.
$177,000 already.
Oh, all right, so that's
And did we give them an additional? then?
including the increased cost.
we do an additional,
I thought we gave them an.
Gave you an additional
recently.
Yeah.
two, I believe.
All right,
177.
Yep.
all right. That amount
An additional?
includes the increased cost of groceries, the 177,000 from January. So then and what do you think, what is that through, Dave?
This, that, they went through that by April.
So how are they paying for food?
So they went through the 177,000 by April, and then their additional, so what's the
Wow.
additional now then?
Something right.
Like, yeah, I'm looking for a total amount with the additional that they've spent year to date.
or,
I can't see it, but
food and grocery and general fund. I don't have.
That's, Sheriff, that's not what you're coming to see us about this next thing, are you?
Pardon me?
Do you need more money for the jail food this year? That's not why you're on our agenda. Oh, you said the third reading.
I already have.
yeah, we're,
I was thinking next regular scheduled meeting.
I want to say she said we were gonna,
So that's,
We did it in the 9601.
yeah, it's out of,
And how much was that?
125,000.
125,000.
yeah, it's out of 9601.
So it's closer to 300,000 so far this year.
So they've already
Yeah.
spent 300,000 plus the 177.
Oh, plus the 170.
300.
477.
yeah.
and we,
So we under budget that far last year.
Well, that because we had the increase came after the first of the year. The new contract came.
I do know for a fact that small items like eggs went up to 4 something a dozen for a while, if you guys remember, for like the first part of the.
We've come back down.
Yeah, they've come back down, but I mean, for
Right,
6 months, they were just like ludicrous.
right.
Did we rebid it when everything was inflated?
Oh, no?
You're right here.
Yeah, so that,
Thank you.
Although we did-
oh, so this, all right, so we're paying it out of 2, is that, and,
Yeah,
So just like the motor vehicles, this is the one we're at there too.
so what's,
Part of the general fund, it's their federal DOC.
all right, well, could you go back, please? Yeah, so, so they're trying to increase it 400,000 there, so out of the general fund, it'll be 575,000 out of the jail. And then if you go to the, that's the Fed money, right? So go to the Fed money. We did an additional out of that.
For this year, yeah.
Right.
And is that budgeted for next year as well, or they
No,
removed it?
So food and groceries in that one is going back down to its original.
So you're
There he is.
so you're moving money out of the Fed money,
I watched.
and you're increasing the jail general.
Yep,
I mean,
yep.
Yeah,
That's,
Now,
yeah, at the end of the day,
both general, they're both,
They-
right?
it goes into the general, but yeah, yes, but that one makes the revenue off the federal. I mean, yeah, if you segregate it at least and think about revenue versus expenditures out of that, I mean, it still counts. Where's that at? So the total,
Yeah.
Joey's saying the total 670, what? 675,000
yeah, to budget for the jail food.
for next year?
That's what budgeted, yeah.
Yeah.
100 out of the
Holy
1, 575.
I thought they gave us that. And it's,
Maybe
Wow.
everything wasn't too far off.
So what, and can we go, and I'm sorry, you guys, so what have we spent this year again then?
477.
We spent 477? So that, I mean, that's two-thirds, but what are we in, October?
We're in October 1st.
Got a quarter left.
Wow.
Where's our
Yeah.
Fed money?
right there. No, and unfortunately, I can't control, that's one of those things I can't control is the inmates we've got. You know, and what we try to do, and I think I've discussed this, you know, when we have somebody that has a very low bond and they just don't have the money, our jail staff does an awesome job at reaching out to the judges, as long as it's nonviolent. And it could be DUIs or HTV, or, you know, something, low-level felony, level 6, you know, or the misdemeanors. We work with the judges to get them released. So, you know, we're doing everything we can so we don't have, you know, inmates in custody that really don't need to be there. They can be out working, doing their job. I mean, obviously, that's things we're gonna look at down the road for work release programs, things like that, you know, keep people working, but yet they can buy their own lunch.
Capacity of the jail?
450,
Right.
455.
Right now, 450?
Well, that's the capacity.
No, I mean, how many
We got-
inmates are there? I'm sorry.
Right around 370.
Okay, I was thinking 350. Okay. 50 times 5. But,
It's $4.50 a day
Yeah,
for
yeah,
pretty close, but
yep.
just doing.
I mean, that's a good amount.
You know, and the feds are very strict. I mean, they really break it down. When we renegotiate contracts, we have to supply them with electric bills, gas bills, you know, everything.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they break it down, have it down to a
You
science.
send them that food bill.
What's that?
Send them that food bill.
And that's gonna
That might
be,
increase it.
that's gonna increase it as well, right? I mean, so,
in Michigan, they
Yeah,
pay a bill
so-
out of jail.
yeah,
That's what's nice. You put them in jail, they have to pay
yeah.
their.
You know, and that's something we can reach out to them and say, look, you know, food is
Maybe something we ought to.
tripled. So, you know, we need to renegotiate that aspect of it.
Okay,
Trying to,
what, what is other supplies? I know it's $6,000, but we gotta, what is that for? 22,500.
Right there. It says, supplies.
Where's that at?
It's right below food and groceries.
This is just getting the salaries to,
That's my 6.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's staying the
Extra
same.
This, but if you,
Gloves and
the
Yeah.
sheriff,
Yeah.
their budget's just getting the salary.
Yeah.
The midpoint, right?
Let's see if Kathy can answer
So
that.
if you
We're gonna see if Kathy can
get the, I was looking.
sending her a text right now. She's probably gonna say, like Tim said, rubber gloves. things.
Yeah,
Probably what those are the things.
okay.
Ah, shit.
She's trying to tan on a beach.
Medical
Guys are
and dental,
bugging her.
is that free for the jailers
So
themselves?
everyone.
That-
No.
No, not our guys,
That's
no.
inmate.
First class, but,
Inmate,
Yeah.
that isn't covered by
because that's
the insurance?
worried about.
No,
That's
we try to, you know, if somebody's has personal and private insurance,
No, well, that's what,
we'll bill
didn't they say the ones in group,
the insurance companies,
or no?
okay? But let's just face it, most of the inmates don't have private insurance. So it falls back on, you know, the government. And the way the statute is, once somebody's in custody, those benefits stop and it falls onto the county.
That's
Okay.
bringing everybody up to midpoint.
But
They were already,
what is the big,
that's what I'm getting at, so they're technically most.
She's read it.
what is the,
She's read it.
don't
It's
have a big,
it's gloves and laundry detergent she put down.
okay. Doesn't the county have a big medical
That's what I just
Policy
wanted to ask.
for that?
if it was Fair with, I don't know.
that covers that?
Well, major medical, like,
They don't have nurses and that they supply on your scene?
yeah, we do. We have nurses on staff, but that's through a vendor, a private, that's QCC. That's a contracted vendor.
But it doesn't cover,
It doesn't, what's that?
it doesn't cover what this 2,500?
Mm-mm, no.
all right.
Interesting.
The general
Not making
number
this-
is $4,982,055.
Correct.
Wow. I apologize to all the other departments.
Well, someone's got to make a motion.
I make a motion.
There's a motion on the floor.
I can't get away from it, guys. Is what it is.
Second.
Motion and a second. Further discussion. We may not be able to get away from the increases, but we maybe get away with where
Well,
they're
it-
being paid out of. I mean,
You
Where it's
know,
being paid out of, or we
I'm not gonna give up on,
here it is.
lessen that number some.
We were setting goals. Maybe we can't reach all of our goals. It might just be the way it is. You know?
that's right, Sylvia.
They gotta eat.
That's right, and they do have to eat.
So we can tell our employees that they can't get raises because prisoners gotta eat.
We're not there yet. We are, these raises are built in. Remember, we're at midpoint, but we're not above that.
That's right.
So at least we're doing
Well, and then,
something.
Can I bring up that?
Frustrating.
So something's not, okay, so since we're just talking about raises midpoint and worried about what we're spending here, Sheriff, if you go to the salary wages,
Or jailers.
for the sheriff's
All
department.
right, yeah, he's going backwards.
I'm going backwards, but this is something I wanted to just make sure
Okay.
and touch on here. The green, Dave, if you could go to the statement of salaries and wages for the sheriff's department. I apologize.
He's like,
No,
he's
I'm-
asking the 144.
I wanna, so the ones in green are up to midpoint. The ones in green are up to midpoint.
So I think he's asking,
But what I'm sorry,
Prosecutor.
what I'm asking is you got the first class patrolman at 64,761. He is not highlighted in green. He's already at midpoint. Am I looking at that right? Everybody else is in green. They got brought up to midpoint. So we have 26 first class patrol officers who are not at, who are just at midpoint. Is that what we're saying?
Yes.
I don't,
Is it?
Right?
Sorry, what
So-
question?
So my question is the ones highlighted in green are getting up to midpoint.
Right.
Correct.
So what I'm getting at is the first class patrolmen technically were already at midpoint, so they are not getting any type of raise in this. So if we
Wait.
spend all our money, let's just say technically, there will be no raise for 26 first class patrolmen. That's what I'm getting at.
Correct.
but we got it.
No, and I understand that. I'm just.
No, I'm thinking in my mind, I don't understand how, unless we missed it.
Because that's
Last
what
year.
I'm saying about the mid, but I think we brought them up to
Yeah, we
midpoint
brought-
faster. We brought.
Last year, we did, and it was the
Right.
sheriff, so how, I mean, I don't understand how then we're increasing them again to midpoint. They've already hit midpoint last year.
But I think we only did that with first class patrolmen.
Did we? We
I
didn't
thought
do
we did
it,
limit it.
Oh, there's only certain ones in.
so we didn't do it with, all the,
brought to me.
gotcha.
And this is just one thing I wanna,
With the-
I wanna say is, I just saw, Indiana State Police Officer
Yeah.
at the Family Express today, and I stopped him, I said, man, I said, you're making my job harder, and he starts laughing, he goes, why? He didn't know who I was, I said, I'm on the Porter County Council, I have a budget hearing tonight, and you guys are starting out at 70,000. And he told me the story of he was at 67,000, now he's at 90,000, and I'm just looking at this, saying we're at 64,000, we're ranked number 5, I think, there's Chesterton, Porter, Valparaiso, Portage, is $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 higher than us, and I just want us to all be aware that this is gonna be this is,
Well,
Fight.
Are you talking
No.
about Indiana State Troopers? Okay,
no, I understand that's different, I totally
Totally
understand that, but
different.
what I'm saying though is as far as Porter, Chesterton, Valparaiso, we're number 5, and
they have $6 billion in taxes.
I understand that, but I just wanted us to all, I wanted us to all be aware of that right now, the first class patrolman is already at midpoint. That's what I wanted us
I
to
appreciate,
be aware of.
I can appreciate what you're saying.
Well, that's why we're talking about hopefully doing
Right.
2, 3, 4, whatever percent raise.
Hopefully we
And
can do that.
that's why I'm saying is people that,
We haven't voted on this. I know it's sticking in our throats, but we need to do something here, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen.
there was a,
Yeah, there's a motion and a second. Let's move it forward, and if we got to reapproach, we got to reapproach.
Yeah. Has there been a?
motion and second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Same sign.
We go home now.
We got
County corrections.
Move to approve, no changes.
Second.
Motion a second on the floor. The number is 129,000. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Public safety data tech. This should have been where you add 11.
Correct.
That's for the,
Is that the line with the addition? 425,000. $12.
No. You need to go lease purchases. So 460. $736,012.
Does that account bring in enough to support that? We're good?
well, that one I'm thinking Kathy's gonna have to look at that to see exactly where that 311 can go into. It might have to be a couple different funds,
Okay.
but I
So
mean,
we can approve it like,
you do that in the third.
they'll have us more info by third reading?
Yeah, we can approve it now. I mean, it's the cash balance.
Okay, I'll move to approve.
It's not going to sustain it. Motion,
Second.
second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
It's public safety, right?
We're at processing. Yeah, that was,
Inmate processing fee. A little bit of an increase, $126,118.
Lease, what are we leasing for the inmates?
I don't know. I'll make a motion to approve.
That's a motion.
Second.
Second.
I have a question.
Question.
The lease purchase for the inmate process fee, is that for their like leg monitors and stuff like that?
It's for, is that the 37?
Yeah.
37,300.
That's for the new system in there. It's the bracelets they wear
Okay,
for RFID readers. So you take a guy out to go to another program or something, you scan it, put it in the system where he's at and stuff, instead of doing
Okay.
everything by paper.
okay.
So it's an upgraded version that we've been looking at.
He's upgrading a version.
Magic Band.
Upgrading our software for our bracelets and inmates.
They're like Disney Magic Band.
Further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. The SCAP.
Move to approve SCAP grant.
Second,
Second.
Motion second on the floor. What's the number? Bottom line.
Oh, my God.
Same as 3,900. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 The same sign. Addiction response grant.
Motion to approve.
Second.
116. What's the number? Anybody know?
Looks like it went away. It's all zeros.
All zeros,
Pardon my-
right?
No? 12,000?
12,000.
12,000.
Difference of zero. Motion to approve. Mental health.
Motion at 12.
We got
Second, somewhere?
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Oh, same sign. Sheriff, adult, community.
Our book not matching. That's what I don't understand.
Fine.
Why is our book not matched? Why do I not have this 12,000 here? Where do you have, under adult community correction or whatever, it said 12,000?
Community correct.
Everything's zeros on my book.
I don't know what that,
Am I looking at something wrong?
It was right there.
No.
I am,
No.
oh, here it is on the front page.
I wear glasses already.
Actually.
I have my contacts in. All right, thanks for bringing me up to speed. Sorry, Jeremy.
Adult corrections.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion second on the floor, $272,553. Discussion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Same sign. Sheriff, adult probation, community corrections pretrial, 9164.
So that's 12,000.
Fee-based.
$61,082.
You looking for a motion?
Always.
Move
Second.
to approve.
Motion second, discussion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Same sign, motion carries. Federal DOC prisoners, 1217 general fund.
Wait, are you on sheriff's garage, you mean, general?
Yeah, that's what I meant. That's what I said.
Right.
Move to approve sheriff garage for, I think, a decrease?
Yeah.
What's the number? We got it? Sorry about that. I ran you ahead.
Right.
I'll second it.
There's a couple seconds. I was just looking for the
Oh,
bottom
I didn't hear a second.
of the sheriff's garage.
307.
Training and ed up.
For what we're paying for food, they should bring us food, too.
Dues and subscriptions.
Is that, you got it, Dave? The sheriff's garage?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was like,
Is that,
Which
I go, what kind of
are they?
descriptions they got?
I didn't see that, yeah.
There's correct.
is that
We
right?
should save
I
40,000.
don't know, but
This is
I've got a sheriff garage.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Sheriff's garage.
Total?
201,654? Is that it? Sorry.
That 23200 includes the $40,000 addition from this year, so it's the same as last year there too. It's only a $1,000.
Oh,
Yeah,
All right.
that number's just includes the additional, so.
Gotcha, 201,654. Was there a motion, a second to that number?
I'm confused. My book doesn't match it. I show that there's a difference of $1,300 and then a decrease of 40.
40,000.
Yeah,
So where does it increase?
that 2023 budget there, where it says $110,274.
Uh-huh.
That includes the additional adjustment right here.
They are,
40.
Oh, okay.
So it's the same as adopted as requested as last year, and it leaves the 1326 difference.
So all we have is the 1326 then?
Yeah,
Okay.
Okay, thank you for explaining. Move to approve.
Second?
Motion second, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Same sign. The Federal Department of Corrections, prisoners, 1217.
that is.
Food and groceries.
Food and groceries, yeah.
Yeah, we're just,
Move to approve.
Whoa,
Move to approve so we can start the conversation.
yeah.
well, why not just, we need to move that 220,000 out of there. That's gotta go back in CCD. And that's what, we're gonna have to take a hard look at some of these other budgets, you know.
Oh, that's where the motor vehicles is?
CD, cable franchise, just to see.
Exactly.
So I would recommend, I mean, there's a motion on the floor if Andy wants to continue on. Is there a second?
So,
Motion second on the floor at the number. Discussion.
Now we can discuss it and see.
yeah, remove the 220, as you mentioned, and put it in CCD.
Well, the motion will
Are
be,
you saying remove the 220? I'm sorry, Jeremy, or the 520?
remove the 220,000.
The additional? Okay.
Yes.
I'd amend my motion.
You're amending your motion to be 220,000 less.
$220,000 less, yes, sir.
I'll
You have a
second
second?
that.
The second agrees, so what about all the other? Uniform and clothing, decrease that in the other one. Do you need that in this?
What are the dues and subscriptions for moving?
Again, there's so many vendors we have throughout the jail that a lot of those are all into that, those dues and subscriptions. Whether it's, Telmate, the phone systems, mail, different vendors. So that's what all those are for.
I just got one question. The 220, are you guys approving that, but just putting it?
We're putting it in a CCD fund for now.
Yeah,
Potentially approving it, though, once we get to that part of the budget.
that would be our goal, to move it back into CCD where it was moved out of a couple years ago.
Right.
So you still have that money available to spend, hopefully.
So those additions are the ones that we were, uniform 20,000, training education 10, and dues and subscriptions, which was 10.8 or whatever. Those are from the last year that we took out to balance the budget. And those are the additions that we're asking for that. But can we?
Can you remove them?
What's that?
You didn't have them this year, so can you remove them?
Which one was that? Which one?
Remove all three?
The three additions, these right here.
Dues and subscriptions, uniform and clothing, and,
Just the additional, so it would be another 30,000 or 40,000 back, yeah.
Yeah, we can take 3 out.
Did you hear that, Dave? We good? Okay.
The 20, the
2010,
10, and the
11.
2010 and 11, or 2010 and 10,
And 895.
Yeah.
I'd make a motion to approve based on those adjustments with moving, oh, I already made the motion, so, we're good. Oh, I need to amend it now.
Yeah, you got a little trigger happy there at the beginning.
All right, taught me a lesson there, little guy. All right, yes.
Where's the other one?
I amend my motion.
To
To remove the 20,000, remove the 10,000, remove the 10,895, continuing to put the 220 in CCD, hopefully, and approve it based on that.
I second it.
So the motion is second on the changes. The bottom line becomes 832,431. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 The same sign. I'd say we're done with you.
Now you can,
Or I'm not sure that's gonna fly.
Talking to me or him?
yeah, I'm going outside.
You-
Been a rough,
You know, when I took the,
Sorry.
they tell me the.
What's that?
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
Thank you. Kathy said it wasn't gonna be easy.
Oh, well, it's gonna have to,
Well,
we're gonna have to get back to the drawing board.
We got some things done,
Sustainable.
good things done.
I think we got some good stuff accomplished here for you guys.
Still think you ought to buy local food.
Yeah, by local pro.
So I think you're good. I think you've done enough damage for a knife,
I'd
Sheriff.
like to say we made some pretty good concessions though as well.
Concession.
All
Oh, I appreciate it.
right.
I don't know.
You know,
That food and grocery killed us.
well,
I mean, it is what it is. What are you gonna do? And the pension.
yep, and the pension, those are the big ones that,
Yep.
you know, and we know that, and that's why we're like, okay, you know, we'll continue to, you know, pay those that we've done over this year. So, you know, appreciate it, and see you at the next meeting.
You got property behind the jail?
What's that?
You got property behind the jail? I'll take my tractor and plow it up. You guys can plan.
We do. Yeah.
Maybe you
You
can
wanna
garden.
head up the garden?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
We used to have a garden.
Yeah.
Somebody get this guy a conflict of interest.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Good night.
Good night.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you.
Good night.
You're just trying to save the county money.
You might save us money, but you're gonna cost yourself some. Attorney fees. Coroner. General fund.
Not if I donate everything.
You can donate.
That's,
You can.
yeah.
So
Go.
we're not giving any raises.
All right, where are we at? Regroup. I'm still in shock. Let's see if I can get through this. General fund, coroner, is there a change, 63,000? Is that midpoint up there, that 46,000? That's taking everybody to midpoint?
No, that's gotten an additional.
Yeah, we're gonna take that out.
Take that out.
So, take the 38,000 out of that.
We didn't approve any additional employees tonight, right, prior to this?
None.
No.
No.
Okay. Equipment other than vehicles, there's an increase, 13,552.
The one, that additional appropriation of 14,400,
What?
we can't, no. I was trying to do something with this grant, but, after I had to, after the date, the grant was renewed and it is at $1,000 a month. So I just want to forget that.
So take out the increase of 13,552? Is that what you're saying?
Yep.
All right,
I don't even know what that is.
then perfect, take it out.
Yep, that's gone.
You got anything else you don't know what we can take out? What's the increase then? There should be a decrease in, well, no, there's an increase in this.
Just because of the salary.
Point.
It's not.
About 9,000.
Yeah, you can take that out.
Take what out?
The 13,
Yeah, okay, we did. All right,
yeah.
$511,022.
Correct.
Was that? You good?
13.3, 13.5, is it?
Well, she took the 13 out.
general fund.
Yeah, she took the 13.5
I make a
out,
motion
took the employee.
I make a motion.
Motion,
Okay,
Second.
second,
Okay.
there's discussion.
yeah, okay, so
1, 2,
we're,
1, 2.
this is looking to move her salary from 39,000 to 45,000? Am I looking at that right?
That's what it looks like. That's what it appears to me, Greg, yes.
Okay. Are we, I mean, is that normal for us to move the elected officials and give them raises?
I was told to change those numbers
That was part of mid
so it would match up.
elected officials.
Okay, okay. Because you, okay. Because you don't go out on any calls, right? Do you go out on any calls?
Yeah, I do.
You do? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm actually on call 24 hours a day for the whole year.
I wasn't aware.
Not on call, not going on scene, but,
Oh, that's what I meant. Yeah, so
oh, yeah, I go on scene.
you've picked up bodies
Yeah.
and stuff?
Mhm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
So I believe there was a motion and a second.
Do we have enough to carry it with four?
Yeah.
Yeah. Board's a quorum.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye, all those opposed? All right. $49.30 coroner fatality review. We have another increase of 13.3, equipment other than vehicles.
What's that?
My paper go. That's just for, where am I at here? A little tired.
I can't make the motion, but we can take it out if we can't figure it out.
Yeah.
No, go to,
Dave?
What are you asking me? Oh, the coroner fatality review?
Yes, corner,
Yes.
Oh, that was the one I wanted to take out.
Okay.
Because we just get a monthly, grant.
Okay.
And we'll just leave it at that, and if I need to use any
Do I have a-
money out of that grant, then I'll come up
Motion.
before you.
second.
Second? We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Excuse me, did we not just take that amount out of the general fund? We're gonna take it out again of the other fund?
No, the one we took out in the
No,
general.
she took out,
was 13,552.
yeah, she took out 13,552, correct, out of the general fund, correct.
She's taking another,
13,300.
No,
which one are you taking out of?
we get $1,000 a month for attending a meeting.
Okay.
And so I was trying to get it to the point where I didn't have to come up in front of the council every time that I needed to spend that money, like on equipment. But I just want to leave it alone. I just want to,
So if you leave it alone, that means you'd be at $1,698, because that was your 2023 budget. If you're increasing it $13,552, you're increasing the general fund, so.
no, I don't want to increase anything. We're just
Okay.
going to get,
So this is what we did was.
Yeah.
we Took off, we did not approve 13,550 your general fund. You were corner fatality review, and we are also decreasing 13,300 because your budget in 2023 was $1,100. You're asking for 14,400. We are decreasing that as well. There was a motion and I believe a second. And I asked any discussion. So
We're decreasing it, right?
we are decreasing it.
but in both funds?
Listen, I'm not here to fight. I'm not the department head.
I'm not fighting, we're talking.
No, I'm saying I'm not here to, they're the department head. I don't know.
Stated she was tired and she said she's been here a while and I'm wanting to make sure she knows which.
No, Karen,
Yeah,
I 100% agree with you. I just want to know, is it one? Because we took it out of the general fund. You have.
it isn't really, it doesn't even go in the general fund.
Look,
it's a grant that we get every month for attending a meeting. And I think that when I approached this and asked for it, I wasn't doing it correctly. And then after the fact, after the deadline of June 30th, I think it was, when I had to renew this grant MOU, then it decreased from $1,200 a month to $1,000. So I just want to keep it the same, and we just get the grant, and it goes into the same fund, but I don't want to do anything more with it. Am I explaining that correctly?
Yes.
I don't mean to confuse anyone.
Okay. So, again, I have a motion and a second. And I'm calling
Does that make,
for discussion.
does that make sense?
You'll come for an appropriation when you're ready to spend.
Right.
Yeah, if you
I'll
want-
come in front of you if that's the one I have to come in front of you to spend it. So I'll just do that at the time. Yeah.
Mr. Stone, what was the motion, to repeat it? I'm sorry, I stepped.
For the coroner fatality review, $13,300. We're going back to the 2023 budget of $1,100. So that's a decrease. There was a motion and there was a second. We had discussion, so I'm gonna call for the vote.
Thank you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those against, same sign? Okay, so that's done. 8158, the SDY grant,
Motion to approve?
okay. We have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign? Okay,
All right.
done.
We're done. And so just so I didn't miss anything, the additional employee is,
Yeah, we did not approve
Not-
additional employee because we're not approving additional employees. We're
We're tackling it at the,
backing at the end.
it's not a no, but
Yeah,
oh, it's okay. I just
be-
want to make sure I understood it.
yep, we are.
Okay.
We are attacking that at the end, hopefully trying to get everybody to scrub their budget as much as we can and see what we have left.
All right. Okay, thank you.
thank you. Have a good night.
No.
Okay, we are at Veteran Services, I believe.
Yes, sir. I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
It looks like the only increase is office supplies. The other one's just salaries, bringing them to midpoint. And it's only a $300 increase for office supplies, so I don't know what he's buying for $500.
It's because our copier contract went up by a few dollars every month.
Oh, yeah. I hear that. We heard that already.
So we actually use the office supply to pay towards that.
We get a lot of good letters from the services, so.
That's
Yeah.
Do
great.
you have a copier in your office?
We do. We pay a monthly service fee for
Would
that.
it be
And
better for us
and
to have our own copier?
He has his own copy.
We have our own copier?
Well, we lease it.
have one as well,
Oh,
right? In your actual office, you have a printer.
Well, yes, I was able to get one that someone else in the building didn't want anymore, so I was able
Color?
to get that copier. Well, I mean, it saves the county some money, and it was a copy machine that still worked. Why not use it?
Thank you.
Right? Why waste money?
Hey, that's,
make a motion to approve?
we
did second?
We have a motion, we had a second discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay.
I think that's it for you, right?
All right, well, thank you very much. And I was gonna I had a whole thing planned, but we were here
Oh,
kind
we
of
get
late.
a lot of.
No, it's,
emails, man, crazy.
oh, that's great.
That's awesome work, awesome.
You
Uh,
did a great job.
Yeah.
Thank you.
A great job.
I wanted to put something in perspective because there was one lady that didn't send an email to you guys because she didn't have a computer, but she had filed a claim. She was a surviving spouse back in 2010. Her husband was a Vietnam War veteran who died of toxic exposure, in this case, Agent Orange. She came to the Porter County Veteran Service Office in 2010 to file a survivor benefit. The federal government denied that claim. She came in 2023, earlier this year, and was about ready to be evicted, couldn't buy food, couldn't afford her medications. So I shuffled around and tried to find as many resources as I could for her. And when she left, I realized that she'd said something about coming in before. So I looked up her and her husband and found out that the claim had been denied. Well, the PACT Act had just been passed on August 22nd of last year, or 15th. I may have the date wrong. But I realized that fell under that PACT Act
So I was able to call her and tell her that we at the county were able to get her a death benefit that pays her every month. She's elated. Her health care is covered. And the best part is she got back pay all the way to 2010, which was $197,000.
God bless you.
That was the largest back pay we've ever had in the history of this office, and
For you, God
it was,
bless.
you know, it was
Great story.
it was an afterthought to look at something, and I'm glad I did. But it was a feel good moment. It was wonderful, and I thought there was a long silence on the phone. I thought I'd given her a heart attack. You know, I asked her what she was going to do right away. You know, are you going to take a vacation? She said, no, I'm going to pay my bills. I'm not going to get evicted. I'm going to have groceries now, and I'm going to take care of the people around me. And she lives like 5 blocks that way. So all that money is staying right here, which is great. And that was the other point I was going to make about our office. And if you put that in perspective, it's not quantifiable money. We can't count it, but it's money that's being spent in our own community.
Absolutely.
So that's what I was going to tell you.
Thank you for what
All
you
right,
do,
thank you
sir.
very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Thank
Thank you.
you. We have extension.
No, I got a haircut.
What's that?
Hey, how you doing?
Right off, I gotta tell you, I can't beat that story.
No, that's a good one right there.
That is good.
But we have some salary increases hourly. We do have 3,000 hourly. We have some deductions of 1,530, 1,500, 614, 429. We do have a increase of $6,465 for contractual services. Their budget in 2023 was 161,000. They're asking for 167,930, and we have a decrease in furniture fixtures over $100. It was 8,270 last year and 5,500 today.
I'm gonna make a motion that
Second.
we approve.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, ayes have it.
Thank you.
Thanks for hanging out.
Worth the,
This is the council.
Move to approve.
Second.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
What's all
Opposed?
the raises? The maintenance agreements, why are those going up?
Yeah, why are you above midpoint? That's,
Andy,
They are going up, maintenance agreements,
why?
because they signed a new contract. I heard it, and we color copy.
Just making sure. Thank you. Nation.
I've never been in the hot seat. I should have moved.
Huh. Good call. Good call. I'm not gonna lie, that was a good call. Riverboat money.
I'll take some.
Where is the riverboat money?
Soil and water.
Oh, wait a minute, I have riverboat.
Yeah, riverboats in
And I
between.
have
Boat,
soil and water, I believe. So we have,
wait a minute.
I got,
I don't have a.
I don't have a riverboat. I got soil and water.
I don't,
it's right underneath your count, where the pictures, where it says county council, it will say general fund, and it'll say riverboat money right underneath it, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Right here.
I see it. It's on the same page as,
On the same page?
as county council. Who's the county council?
Name is it? Yeah, isn't it?
Oh, we have to share?
very good.
What's up with that?
Share books.
Your guys' perk.
Motion,
One of our perks?
Second.
take a vote.
There's a decrease, undercover expenses, sheriff, and then,
You already got the motion and second.
oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you, I apologize.
So, so motioned, I second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed? Ayes have it.
Can we move soil and water to the end?
You wanna move soil and water to the end?
She's gonna hit me.
You save the best for last.
I agree.
Well, we're almost near the end.
This one, looks like we have an increase in salaries, an increase in hourly, so the salaries were moved up to midpoint, correct? And then we have an hourly increase from $1,950 to $16,950.
What's the reason for that increase?
FICA was not included, the employer portion of FICA was not included when we originally asked for that $19.50 for the meeting stipend for the board members. So it's $149 that we're asking for to cover the FICA for that $19.50.
So we need to add that on to this? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's under hourly.
It's under
Yeah.
our,
Hourly.
I got it.
$15,000 increase.
it's a $15,000 increase.
That is, you were talking prior about not allowing extra employees. We're asking for a part-time employee to assist with education programs.
Okay.
So, and I know that that
Yeah, we're gonna,
going to be at the end.
okay.
So the only other thing we're asking for as far as salary is the $149 to cover the employer portion of FICA for the board member's stipend, which you allow $19.50 for that. And then the board agreed that an increase in my salary to match our other employee would be warranted because I'll be starting my 15th year. And of course, nothing against our new employee because he's fabulous, but he makes $2,910 more than I do.
Oh, wow.
Well,
I'm sorry.
I'd like to say this. They come before us every year, and they're always after the prosecutor and sheriff. And halfway up the aisle last year, she said, I already know I'm not going to get anything. So I would like to make a motion to pass this.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Hold on, what is the motion including? This additional person, or is that not including the?
No, we're not, it's already been taken out, right?
This 15,000 has been removed, Dave?
I don't see FICA on here.
Didn't you say you took it out?
I don't see FICA on there.
Right, she was asking to include it.
It should have been in the total that we submitted here for.
And you submitted it under hourly. She submitted the FICA under our hourly.
Oh,
So we need,
Yes.
we just need to,
Yeah.
That's what she's saying.
Yeah.
So
So you're
it's gonna be,
15,000 from the 16,900.
That has to actually be in FICA.
And then under FICA, then we had the part-time salary FICA, which is 1148, plus the 149, which gives us the 1297. So it would come out of the FICA down here.
We don't have a FICA line.
we don't have a FICA line item.
Okay, well, on my budget that I submitted,
So we have the 4,000 in raises, correct? That gets everybody to midpoint, and they're asking for 15,000 hourly. Their last year budget was 1,950. That was your budget last year. You're looking for an additional 100, how much to go in hourly?
149 for the FICA.
Jeremy got locked out.
okay, I guess what we're at now would be 149.
But you're asking for the FICA if they get the additional, so
yeah.
why don't we just,
We'll have to add FICA onto this then.
why don't we do that later? Do you know what I'm?
Mainly, we want to just take care of that stipend so that they're not paying
Right,
employer
I
portion, you know.
understand, but Dave, what's your thoughts on this one? Or Ryan?
excuse me?
I was asking Ryan what,
Okay, I'm anxious to hear.
yeah.
What's your thoughts, Ryan?
Well, so this is just for the board.
Correct,
Not-
1950.
No, I get it. I'm just making
Yeah.
sure, so, because your total would be paid out of the commissioners, and this would be the board members. So we would need to add the FICA line item and break those, break those two out. So,
At the quarter. They're trying to figure out where FICA's at. She had rolled it into hourly and got a different budget than she submitted than we've got.
These people meet
That's mid.
all the time. It's shit.
Your budgets are usually a lot smoother.
What can I say? But, oh, well,
I'm just giving you a hard time.
yeah, there.
You okay?
Yeah, I was able to, you
We're thinking about pizza up here.
Yeah, he's punching.
know what? I was praying 10 rosaries over. Good.
Maybe one for me too.
Pizza. I got an Arby's and a little.
15 minutes per.
I just carry like my decade.
I'm raising my ugly head on
Here,
this.
can I?
Huh?
Here, can
People
Good night.
get screwed
Night of Columbus.
every year.
I? I'm a Knight of St. Andrew.
That's
It,
Part-time salary.
that's cool.
It's the opposite of the,
a living dial is
you can go you can go two ways, the York rate, which is,
That's enough.
Sylvia, I'm just making sure they're getting what they're asking.
big Templars.
It's in the right
And
line.
it's right there,
That's
equal
all.
as the Knights of St. Andrew. I like to say St. Andrew because you don't have to be a Templar, you gotta be a Christian. I'm a Christian. but I would like my most.
Okay, so then we're okay with the $3,000 other supplies. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yeah, it's,
Okay.
you're,
Everything else on here is
everything
great.
else is good here. We're just trying to figure out.
Take out the part-time salary.
Right.
Yes, we're taking out the part-time salary, so that's
The
perfect.
part-time FICA for that.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we're.
Okay,
We had a motion and a second.
Yeah.
I believe Sylvia made the motion.
And-
I made the second.
Yep, and we had discussion on it. Like I said, I just wanted to make sure the hourly.
Yeah, before we vote,
Yeah.
we got to see this final number. It's,
Yeah, no, I'm fine.
Is the hourly coming out?
Yes.
Yes.
What was that amount?
the hour.
15,000?
Part-time
no, they had 19.
salary,
19.
hourly.
1,000, right?
15,000 we were asking for a part-time employee.
Okay,
But-
that included,
And then the FICA was 1148, we're taking out everything but 149.50 for the board.
So what if we add it to the 1950 for the hourly, so it gets covered?
I think it's got to be a separate line item.
Okay, then-
Like Joy was
Yeah.
saying.
That's why I was asking them to make sure that we had it in the right line item, that's all.
in all actuality, you can put in the regular line item, but as long as we have the total, does not exceed what the budget stated. We can always move those numbers around as long as the advertisement, we did 20% over the advertisement.
Okay. So we're gonna add the 149? Good.
$40.
So
So
it's
wait.
a $4,000 increase, yeah.
Yeah, so we have a
He's got
motion,
it up.
second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, thank you very much.
May I ask just one quick question, since obviously I'm coming back on October 24th? Is there going to be an order to like an agenda so that I know when I can stand up and speak?
Our president sets the agenda.
I don't know. I've never asked for a part-time employee or another employee or anything like that. So is there an order to that? Or I just jump up and yell water once?
Yeah, I would recommend jumping up and making sure, because things are, as you can see, this is off to a wild start. And
Yeah.
third reading, we jam a lot into it to try to get to where we want to. So yes, please make yourself,
Yeah, and I
Um,
want to leave this
yeah.
because I don't like to waste time. So I have a little handout just with some stats on there.
Thank you.
Because
Thank you.
Indiana State Department of Agriculture says we address 77% of the land in Porter County.
Thank you.
We get 32 ten-thousandths of a percent of the Porter County budget.
Thank you.
Oh.
Just wanted to share that with you, and I'll leave the extras.
all right, Red, how'd you do?
I don't know.
Very much.
You have to ask somebody. You can.
Good.
You
Thank
can
you. Have a good evening.
Was,
It was interesting. Let's put it
well,
put it that way.
I
Jeremy.
thought it'd be a good opportunity
It was
to
interesting.
give you a little run at it in case I can't make the next one.
Make the next one, right?
Oh, so good, good.
Chop, chop, chop.
Move along.
Assessor,
I thought we were done.
Oh, we had assessor, right?
Move to approve the general fund. That's just an increase,
So move.
the normal salaries.
Oh,
correct.
second.
Yeah.
motion and a second on the floor for the assessor general fund, and that's just the midpoint. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Pose same sign. Reassessment,
Okay, maybe not.
1188.
Nothing.
Why is the perf going up so high?
We don't know, we did question that today with the auditor's office. I do believe it can go back down.
Dave, is that accurate? Can you take that number back down, or is there a reason it was raised?
That, they put it in.
For the perf, for the reassessment, yes.
Yeah, 12,300.
Motor vehicle? What is this?
I believe it,
Getting a
I
motor?
think they did part-time and,
They already got one.
Oh, okay. Was part-time included maybe by accident?
that's,
We approved it.
Yeah, so we included hourly in the calculation, so
that can go back down.
920.
Okay.
Yep. See, look at that, a gift. The next-
That's lowering the number, motor vehicle. What do you-
Motor vehicle.
Yeah.
We're moving consultants and contractual to get another vehicle. So we just got one recently, but we also have a very old Explorer that, it's still running, but it's not gonna last forever. Just weird things keep going out on it. So we're gonna try and,
Old, it's bad on gas if it's an Explorer.
yeah, so we're gonna try and get another vehicle. We just did have an incident where one of our employees was using his own vehicle, and it's costing the commissioners $2,000 to fix his vehicle. And they're coming up with an ordinance now too about it because they're using their own vehicles, but that's because we've never had vehicles.
Yeah, we had a discussion about it, yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I'd make a motion to approve reassessment based on the $8,000 being removed from perf.
Motion and a second on the reassessment, and it's $488,128. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Sign motion carries.
Thank you.
Portage Township Assessor General.
I'd make a motion to approve the general fund with the midpoint increase.
Second that, Andy.
Motion and a second. I don't think that's a midpoint. Is that a midpoint? It's got a different shade of green on it.
It's just a different shade of green to be, if it's under 10,000.
But that's midpoint.
Yeah.
Ooh, degrees of green, I like it.
Can I get like, what do they call it, syllabus or your colors or something? Like
Oh, yeah.
legend, or I don't even know what they call it.
The darker, the higher it is.
So this is 2 shades of green?
Motion and second on the floor, I thought, at 948.
Whoa. Wait a minute. I'd like to ask one question.
Nope,
Do,
sorry. Oh, I wasn't telling you no, sorry. I'm sorry. No,
Oh,
Sylvia,
okay.
fire away.
do prescriptions, $2,500?
We have, they pay on the assessor's salary, and we have to pay for each one of our deputies.
Oh, that's, you're paying salary.
Pay that to the Indiana Association of Counties, so you pay a percentage on their, she'll pay it on her salary and then on each of her employees.
All right, so there's a motion and a second
Yes.
on the $255,080. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Is there a second?
I second it.
Second, discussion, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Same sign, Portage Township reassessment, 1188.
What's the big increase there with the hourly?
Hourly.
Because it's dark green.
Yeah, that I was asking for hourly,
What are you asking for?
for a part-time person.
Oh, an additional person?
Yes.
So we'll remove that now.
Yes.
As long as everyone agrees.
Yep.
Sorry. And so what would that number be? Is that gonna stay the same if we remove that? So it'd be the 39,896?
Yes.
And then what's the perf increase for? Was that a
It's the same
That's the
thing.
is it a issue, Dave, with the perf?
Yep.
Ryan?
That's another, look at that, the assessors are just being,
You guys are just giving us perf money.
Perf is killing us.
So
So,
we gotta get a real here.
yeah.
Do what?
We're eliminating the 535 on the perf?
The 535 and the 26,000 for hourly.
Okay.
Which should mean there's a little savings, I would assume.
5,900 is what we shouldn't have approved the last time. They're doing it.
How do you like being the assessor?
I like it.
Pretty cool?
Yeah.
For that,
Going
I
good.
was all mad about
Thank you.
the power. You know,
Yeah, don't make her mad.
now.
I live in South County.
do you have a number?
Oh, yeah, I'm not in Portage, I'm good.
Almost there.
Thank you.
Are we good, Dave?
Yep.
92,523? Was there a motion?
Wait,
No?
wait, that's not
Not
right. Because we're taking 26,000 and 6,000 off, and there's already a $5,000 savings.
Hang on, I'm getting tired.
Did you remove the perf and the hourly, guys?
Yep. Perf is here.
I don't understand.
And
Hang on.
hourly is here.
All right.
So,
But there should be either a really small increase or a small savings.
Hourly goes 39.
it's only
Yeah, savings,
it's only 6,000 more in this account. And it's exactly the same in perf. Yeah,
But in my book,
they're taking out this out. And then the perf go with it and FICA, so.
Okay.
Trying to figure out exactly what that accounts to.
something ain't adding up.
Yeah, it's
Take it back.
not
What
it.
do they got there?
Okay.
I don't know, they keep bouncing around, it's hard for me to see.
You got 92, I've got 88.
Well, it should be closer to that number.
Yeah. If you take the 5,000, yeah, it'll bring it down.
They added 2, took away 5 is net -3. So something's not right there.
Oh, this was, the original, this is the adopted 33,176 and then the additional.
We should be less.
Yeah, it doesn't say.
2,000
that's
less.
3,000 less, that's what I thought. A couple thousand.
2,000, 2 to 3,000 less?
I think it's some part-time,
I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
know.
was that the 6,000 increase? Yeah, that,
that was
so,
an additional appropriation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
That maybe is the difference.
What do you guys? Okay.
all right, where are we at? What's the number? 90,597?
But that's not working with our book. It's not jiving.
Working.
Where's the difference?
She got an additional appropriation in what?
But that,
in hourly.
July.
$6,000 additional appropriation in hourly.
Like June or July, or July.
That figure right there, that
30,
figure for
39.
$6,000 hourly additional appropriation.
so, but in my book, it shows the 2023 budget was 39,896. On the screen, you're showing 33,176.
But see, just to the right of it, there's a 6720. That's the additional.
We raised the hourly.
Which raises it to 39,896.
Which is what our book shows.
Right.
So, but still, the math's not.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, because if you.
So for salaries, it was 11,489 for 2023, right?
That's
And then 13,489.
Yep.
And then the next line was hourly, and that was 39,896.
Correct.
Yep. FICA should be at 5,000 or 4,029 previously, and it's going to 5,955.
We got it back down at 4029.
Okay.
4029.
Whatever. Then it should be more of a savings.
Yep.
Perf should be at 2183.
Yep.
Per diem was at 8,000 and remains at 8,000. Office supplies 1,000. Travel 2,000. Dues and subscription goes from 0 to 5,950, or from that 5,952 to 0. So there's a $5,000 savings there.
So I get what you're saying. Where's that 9,000? Oh, you know what? If you include you have to add the 81, 877, and the 12.
Oh.
Yeah, 6.
That makes sense. Not very clear, but makes sense now.
Wait, save it best for last. Then.
Move to approve.
Motion.
Second.
Second. Discussion, any more? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Yeah, yeah.
Motion carries.
You guys have a good night. Way to be last on the agenda.
I don't even want to know.
We saved 700,000, approximately.
That's the number.
By it,
Yeah, we'll send a.
it was
send a number.
356,000 from the sheriff that we moved over to tech. We saved 250,000 jail. We saved 64,000 and that was 14,850 for water and $897.
But you're saying save, but that's the savings.
And
Yeah,
overall, we reduced the
We reduced the request, but yeah,
approximate.
yeah.
We won't have the definite.
schedule?
But it had to be over $1 million. What's that?
Do you want the number?
Yeah, the general fund, if you got it. If
16,682,084.
Hopefully I don't expire or.
60 million?
16
million.
Yeah.
She said.
And that was what? We
So that's prosecutor, sheriff, sheriff, jail, federal,
Yeah,
DOC, coroner, veterans, extension, council, oil and water, assessor, Portage Township.
It's the same thing, isn't it?
Yeah, but I wrote.
But from last year, what did it go up?
Oh,
Yeah.
like the little notes I was putting in here.
Oh,
So it said Harold's name.
I couldn't answer you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just the sheriff general fund and the sheriff, the
Jail.
jail,
Killed it.
the jail and the general fund alone.
Well, thank you guys. It's been fun.
It had to be over $1 million. You know, but that did include some of the midpoint raises. So,
And I can honestly say they did with us.
oh, they did.
Boy.
They did. They really
They did.
All of them did.
Motion to adjourn.
We're gonna have to figure out, I mean, again, commissioners, to see, they should have gotten an increase in lit, to see, you know,
Andy, where you go?
what their suggestion is for that. CCD, when I checked last, they weren't spending on the pace to spend it all. What's the matter?
I'll show you later.
Thanks, Ryan.
You need a motion to adjourn?
Yeah.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Well, there's a motion in a second, but I mean, you guys gotta understand what we did tonight, so at this rate,
I don't need to know tonight, but I do need to know by next Tuesday.
well,
Well, I'm gonna stick around. You're doing it right now, Ryan, right?
We're gonna be way over.
Oh, I know that, but like, nice to see where we're at.
Can I ask you all a question before we go here? So you were very strict on anybody, but on the riverboat money, it went up $10,000 for vehicles and nobody questioned that, so why didn't you question?
We don't have
Riverboat.
much control on it.
On the,
Riverboat money was actually
It was right below the council.
Right below the council, yeah.
Oh, I wasn't here. I wasn't here, yeah. So don't ask me, ask these. I'm not sure what happened. I'll have to.
There's line items in the riverboat money. Don't-
Went up?
Should have gone under the, not under the council on that.
Yeah, it's a sheriff undercover.
Yeah, riverboat, yeah.
Yeah, I think that was actually a mistake to be council.
So, were you working on that, Ryan, or no? You're gonna get it later?
See, when I saw it, I saw savings with the undercover expenses sheriff at 10,000 and motor vehicles.
Took off 10,000, put the motor vehicle.
This wasn't under the sheriff.
Yeah,
Well, this is under riverboat money.
But if you look, they took 10,000 off undercover expenses and they put it on motor vehicles.
Right.
Took some
But it says sheriff in quotes under undercover expenses. Yeah, sorry.
One washed out the other.
Yeah.
You got, yeah.
Well, thank you for letting us.
I don't have a whole lot to say.
Because
At this pace, to give out raises,
Really bad.
which we should, you know,
We've got raises figured into what we're doing.
well, we've got midpoint figured into what we're doing. I mean, if we're not gonna give raises out to 3/4 of our employees, just the second half, I don't think that's gonna go over very well.
I think I'm gonna be sick those days.
I would have liked to have
You have 3.
held them until the end.
Who, the sheriff?
Oh,
The
Midpoint off.
midpoint in that, so that we know.
960.
I don't think, that approach is, because we really promised that last year. We couldn't do 3/4 of the county and then,
General appropriate.
But right now, we've done most of our most challenging budgets with this. We've got roads and the plan commission coming up, they're huge.
yeah, but a lot of that's fee-based there. Yeah, you got, I mean, again, we can tap into our, you know, our reserves, but at what rate?
Not one.
And it's
That's a
recurring.
precedence.
Well, I mean, you're gonna be on a course depending on how high you do it.
It really all depends on the level of what you do. If you do it depends on the level of what you do. It's not
Here's the
bad,
thing.
But, right.
We're reaching our goals that we told our employees and that we would do. We may have to rest a year or two or see how it goes. We won't be able to give huge raises, you know. That may be a point where we have to put it on cruise for a year or something. I don't know.
It's hard right now, and
It's hard to do it, but you gotta remember,
they're not wrong.
we are not, no, they deserve.
It's a competitive environment out
They
there.
deserve a good wage. However, it's not private enterprise that they're working at.
No, you know, and you're 100% right on that. It's not private enterprise, but
And how much do we pay
If-
for each
if-
person for health insurance and,
Sorry.
for their insurance? How much
Probably
is that this year?
19,000 or something.
19,000 what?
9,
So
Randy.
whatever their salary is, you have to put that on top of it.
Well, and I think, just personally speaking, you know, I understand we're competing with private sector, inflation's through the roof and all that. But you know, we have that cushion. It all depends how much we want to get into that cushion, depending on how what we're gonna be looking at the next year and the next year for growth, if any, we're gonna get from the state for raises next year. So, I mean, you can do it with the money we have. Gotta
Yeah, it's reoccurring, and you guys, it's gonna be tough over the next couple of years. We've run a very, very lean government for a long time, so, and we've done a good job, and we've given raises, and we've built up, you know, reserves, but, you know, we want to
And
get on the path.
I-
You know, we've got roads out there, we've got stormwater out there, you know, we've got these increases, I don't know what you wanna call them, you know, inflationary, you know, stuff with like, the food and groceries. You know,
They want to know, need to know, computer system.
And I think Jeremy figured out a way for that, though, with that money for the interest we're getting off. We know it's not gonna be forever, but I think we could put some of that in in a rainy day fund or something for some of that. I mean, the one times aren't bad, it's just the reoccurring that kill us. And the, you know, adding of the people and the reoccurring, you're right, that's what hurts. But, you know, again, when you have LaPorte County and Lake County raising, you know, their taxes, public safety taxes, and we're trying to compete, that's what's tough for us.
This is for you.
We're also doing a good job by
Thank you.
not raising our taxes,
I-
by not creating new taxes.
Listen, Sylvia, I agree 100%, 100%. But there's gonna be a time when you have Lake County and LaPorte County widening that gap, and that's all I'm saying. So however we get there, it is what it is, and we're gonna see it in the future years, that gap widening.
Well, our sheriff's department worked very well with us tonight, and I'm pleased for that. They're happy with what they've got.
He did.
House shut down, does that mean you guys got numbers?
And if you look at it, the increases weren't even salaries, right? What were the increases? Operating a jail for a large part.
Food was a killer for
Yeah.
1,000.
Vehicle stuff, it was
Vehicle
equipment.
stuff.
Total, you guys went up $1,030,000.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks a lot. I didn't want to know that.
That's what.
Thank you. Seriously, thank you guys tonight. We got in a rhythm. It took a little while. This is our first run through it, you know, together. And you guys have been a great help. Really, but we got our work cut out for us, so that's $1 million already. And
Now the thing to remember about that too is part of that is midpoint.
And
Yeah.
that's how much,
So it's not
Right.
500,000 now on top of that,
right, and that's,
I will figure that out and get that to you guys of that.
that was getting everybody up to the midpoint.
Out of the million raised, what was that of midpoint?
yeah.
I just want to say you guys have been doing great in getting us information, pulling things up. It was very smooth tonight from your end. I mean, we might have screwed things up, but you guys did great.
I appreciate it, thank you for working with me.
It's very.
I know I asked a lot of questions, but I'm trying to
Jeremy, I
learn
called.
too. It's a little bit
Got a
different
motion
than
in a second.
business accounting.
It's still hanging out there.
I actually have money in the account, so that's what's different. So,
You're passing out checks tonight.
yeah, see, I work with what I actually have, you know, which is a lot easier. So if you don't have it, you
It
don't have
saves
it.
you a lot of trouble in the long run.
Yeah.
All right. Well, no, it was a good discussion. I mean, that wasn't too bad. I mean, we started at 5:30. But we got a couple more days next week, and then you guys got questions, you got thoughts and ideas. The auditor's office is more than willing to run information and numbers for you. You know, I'm not certain. Look back and think about what we did, and think about what we can do for our
Right.
employees.
So is that hard? 1.4, give or take, what you think is going to be what I call fresh money?
As in,
Property tax levy.
yeah. So I mean, I easily foresee that definitely coming in. Yeah, like where we've stayed on track of bumping it up 1.2 to 1.4 a year. That
Right.
stays in track with the amount of property taxes that we bring into
Yeah,
company.
because like I said, I just look at it as like fresh money coming in
Correct.
because of your AV growth.
They allow us to grow that.
Right, no, right, and then, right.
Motion to adjourn.
Oh, we already did that one.
We already did that.
No, I'm still waiting for the question. Called.
Motion second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed.
You guys all have a good night.
Opposed.
I like